Pokemon fighter.
Hello, everyone. We have got a full house tonight, back in action after last week's Q&A. Although, as much as we loved hanging out with you guys, we also love playing Dungeons and Dragons that much more. So we are happy to be here with Full House tonight. It marks a bit of a climax for the party as they seek to rescue their friend Gildan and assault the Pyramid of Ling, that mysterious psychic time traveler who has hounded them since it's like a week ago, maybe. Actually, like 2 weeks.
Arch enemy.
2 weeks. Adventuring is a very intense experience. It's a lot like summer camp. You form bonds very quickly. And so that is where we find ourselves tonight on Thursday on the WebDM Twitch channel. I am, of course, Jim Davis. Let's go around and say hi to our group of amazing D&D players who we have assembled out of the best D&D players available into one fierce fighting force. Grant, you want to take us off?
Yes. G.I. Jim. Ain't no DM greater than him. They say RPGs are a game you can't win, and they lead a servitude to Lord Satan. Sorry, guys, that joke's not funny, but subscribe and send us money. When I'm sick, my nose gets runny. Mur is cute like a baby bunny. Icky's large and big and strong, but the thing she could do can't be seen as wrong. When she goes, you better bang a gong. Don't you love my special song? Baloo is my bae, and I want to be his boy. Maybe if I'm nice, we could trade our toys. That's not a euphemism, I mean it straight. You've got dirty minds, don't play or hate. Last is Elly, she's kinda sweet. And when she's mad, she rages neat. And she is tough and can't be beat. And if you hate her, just send a tweet. I'm sorry, guys. That's all I could do while eating ice cream.
It was sweet and cold.
That's very good. Very, very good. Excellent. Thank you, Grant. Lindy, how are you?
I'm doing pretty spiffy. I'll be playing adorable baby bunny Mur today, and she is nothing but sugar and spice and everything nice. Not at all half devil, evil, secret, nefarious plans and plotting and self-gain. None of that.
None of that.
Not at all. Not a College of Whispers bard. Oh, good heavens, no. Yeah. But I'm super excited to be here, and I can't wait to get back. I missed not playing last week, so I'm so excited for tonight.
Well. We missed you guys as well. Excellent. TK, how are you?
Hey, I'm here, ready to go storm the castle and rescue what's his face. I got a lot of aggression to work out through this game, so let's hope it goes in my favor.
Yes, rescuing that pretty princess Gildan, who finds himself in dire straits. Anna, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing wonderful. I'm so glad to be back. I'm sorry I missed last week, but it's fine. We here. And yeah, I'm gonna be playing the very evil, very dark, demonic human barbarian. That's a word. Named Elly. She's evil through and through and just wants to kill everything in her path.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. What if I got myself?
I hate having fun. I don't have fun because my constitution is 9.
Yeah.
Struggle.
Such a struggle.
Shade.
Oh my God. Excellent. And Josh, how are you, brother?
I'm doing pretty good, Jim, bro. I'm a live wire. I'm ready to go.
Excellent.
I'm gonna hurt myself and others near me. Let's do it.
Well, I hope not party members. Just
not like in game.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Awesome. We are shaking haters off this week on Land Between Two Rivers and having a good time doing it. We are, of course, brought to you guys in part by Tabletop Loot. They have got dice. They've got mugs and shirts and a whole bunch of other stuff. They've got dice jails for your naughty one rolling dice, your minimum fireball damage dice. Need a dice jail to go into. So check out Tabletop Loot for all that and more. This week, or rather, the last time we played, got to get my head in the game. The party was at a war council being held at the Great Tree of Andrus, where they debated and strategized long into the night. Much of that led by our by our party members Mur and Icky. who was having her own separate war council for the more scandalous types within the camp. The bandits and smugglers and those who would be sneaking into Trade Town. It was determined, and your humble DM apologizes for the continuity error, that the Tekendar forces, being the elite of the Drow, would be riding their mounts and other fast-moving craft in a cavalry attack, where the Beltane infantry forces would be leading the main assault and distraction on the pyramid. There is, of course, also a group of mostly Trade Town citizens and members of the Fellowship who will be sneaking into Trade Town to attempt to liberate that in a three-pronged attack on the Pyramid of Ling. Much strategy and the like was talked about, and the great captains of war and war chiefs who are a part of the Drow and Trade Town forces debated and discussed late into the evening. I'd like our party members that are at the Great Tree of Anders to describe sort of how that night goes for them after all of the maps and plans and everything are put away. How do you prepare yourself for the day tomorrow?
Icky goes out and she just starts like gambling with people. That's typically her big thing, is that she likes to dice gamble. She's not a big card gambler, but she'll go out among the riffraff and kind of gamble with them, trade stories, just things like that. And then eventually in like the wee hours of the morning start to go to sleep.
Okay.
Jim?
Mm-hmm.
I think Blue is going to need to destroy something.
Yeah.
Destroy something unnatural.
Okay.
As part of the ritual that he's forming.
Okay.
It'll be a ritual eventually.
What unnatural thing is Baloo going to destroy ritually?
I'm trying to figure out if it can be anything other than his boomstick. Maybe the chariot? Would he destroy that?
The skiff that you guys rode in on? Myrrh has got that secured away somewhere.
Oh, okay. So I don't know where that is.
Correct.
Okay. Well, if I can't find anything else, I will ritually sacrifice the boomstick.
Yeah? You're going to sacrifice the Liefeld gun?
Yeah.
All right.
Because Jim, the Liefeld gun is unnatural.
That's true.
It is.
That's very true.
So yeah, I'm going to destroy it and take its power.
All right.
I might even eat part of it, even though it's like really not good for me.
Yeah, there's nothing in it that's edible.
Yeah, I know.
All right. Chew on it for a while.
I do. Yeah.
Your best.
Yeah, I find some gristly wires.
Right. So Baloo, so you what? Smash it, burn it. I mean, it's metal and wire. It's a sci-fi laser gun thing. Like
yeah.
What you
basically he's trying to reduce it to as close as he can to its base parts, so that it can be returned to the earth. And if those parts are not of this earth, then they need to be just utterly destroyed.
So here's what I'm imagining. Correct me if I'm wrong. Baloo goes at office space on his gun.
Mm-hmm.
And there's plenty of secluded little spots and places like that in the camp that you can go to.
Mm-hmm.
And there we go. Preparing yourself for battle tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a metaphor.
Gotcha. Excellent.
Destroy that which is foreign.
And so how about Elly and Myrrh?
Elly will pack up snacks like always, and also maybe sharpen some of her weapons.
Okay.
Yeah, especially her great axe. She's not too sure on how to do it, but she has an idea. Like if YouTube existed in this world, she watched like the first 2 minutes and just like was winging it on how to sharpen her great axe.
Sure. I mean, the first 2 minutes, if they don't tell you what you need, then
Yeah.
Watch the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
Why would they make like a 30 or 40-minute video about anything?
It's like a cooking recipe, like where they try to tell you their life story before they tell you the recipe.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
recipe.
great. And in the end, the camp is abuzz with all sorts of smiths and weapon crafters and the like. So any upgrades or additional items that you think you might need are available for barter or small trade. But yeah, so Elly prepares her weapons and the like for battle. How about Myrrh?
Well, Jim, I'm so glad you asked. Because it's been a while since she's seen her old crush, Miss Helen Highwater, and that just, those opposites just attract so much, at least in Myrrh's mind. So she's going to be trying to be like, this could be our last night here. I mean, it would be tragic if, we just didn't spend time together. So she'll try to pick her up. Because this is pleasure, not business.
Right. Okay.
It's very rare. It barely happens.
Barely happens. Helen has, of course, been busy the defense of the Tree of Andrus and the like, and having someone who's sort of looking out for her kind of takes her off guard for a moment. She's, of course, a lifelong friend of Myrrh and a confidant. And so I will let our viewers use their imaginations as to what an Aasimar life cleric and a tiefling college of whispers bard will get up to to relax for a big battle. But even though this is sometimes WebDM After Dark, there are sometimes places we don't go. And so the two of you enjoy each other's company for the evening. Gildan is alone in a cell. A dim red light is the only thing to keep him company. And if I recall, Gildan fell asleep by naming the stars that by the secret names that he gave them as a child. In that dream, even here, Leng dogs your steps. And no matter where you go in your dream, no matter what faraway place you run to, Leng is always just a step behind, quietly observing, watching, and seeing what it is that you will show him.
All right, so if I'm sensing Ling is there, I want to offer him my mind grapes and let him feast upon them.
Okay. What is a mind grape?
That's my brains.
How many charity games have you been running today?
Too many.
Mind
But we
grapes.
broke $2,000.
Hey, great.
Yeah, 2015. So it's just kind of one of those things, because I'm kind of thinking and I'll use this analogy. I walk my dog in the dog park, and sometimes little dogs, they'll turn and they'll face my dog, and they don't care. Gildan is like the little dog, right? He is ferocious, and he will turn and he will bark. And it's one of these things where essentially it's like he thinks he can psych Ling out by essentially tackling him head on. And over time, Gildan is the stronger personality and may even win. But he thinks also, whether he's stronger or not, it's his fate to be here, to whatever end.
You'd mentioned last time that Gildan wins just simply by tenacity and the fact that he grew up with a mother who was so abusive that there's very little that others can do to her. Leng does not send. Ling doesn't send nightmares or anything your way, and you're able to pass the night in slumber. Although at one point there is a faint and distant whisper that calls Gildan out of his sleep.
Yeah, I totally go to the whisper. I 100% just.
Hello? Hello? Are you there?
I'm always here.
I don't know who you are, but I've been here for many days. Are you okay?
I'm always okay.
The voice sounds familiar in a weird way.
Mm-hmm.
Give me an intelligence roll for Gildan.
Yeah, he's great at those. Oh my gosh. And I promise you, based on RNGesus has not been kind to me like the past couple days. 14, that's pretty good for Gildan.
Yeah, Gildan, she sounds like Elly.
Are you Elly's creator?
No. There's hesitation. I was following her. She's my sister.
Sister. She had... Gildan's like mind is blown because he was convinced Elly was some sort of automaton. And he's just like, sister. Do you want to say hi to her? Do you want to meet her? I can take you to her.
Yes, I saw you too in the market before the attack. And she kind of hesitates. I thought it was you. I took a risk. I'm glad. And then she sort of, it sounds like she's stops herself mid-sentence.
It was me? Do we know each other? Or rather, I go,
yeah.
Where do I know you from?
You wouldn't know me.
But you know me?
I've seen you. Yes, I don't know you.
Well, how do I take you to Elly? Do I meet you someplace? Are you in my brain?
I think we're across the hall. And she's like, you can, you're by the door. That's where you're here. I can't explain it, but I might be able to help us out.
Well, here's a question. Is Gildan still completely nude? Because they took all of his things.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
And you've still got those anti-caster cuffs. The only thing you don't have is you can talk, right? But it's dark in here, so you can't really see anything, and you're kind of like having to wriggle around with these cuffs that are preventing any, unless you have verbal only spells.
I have some verbal spells, but I don't need to cast nothing. So essentially, it's not a spell. I'm going to use an ability, Blessing of Wisdom, to double one of my skills, and I would like to double my insight. And I'm trying to pick up: is she being forthright with me in her claim? And
let's get some rolls going.
Yeah, I don't have a 19. Yay!
I rolled a 4, but you still beat me.
So
you get the impression just from the brief exchange. Your instincts, something's not sitting right.
All right, I don't have to let that on, and Gildan can play the fool pretty easily. Get us out of here. And what Gildan's preparing to do is hopefully this entity gets out, opens the door. Gildan takes its back and strangles it dead with his caster cuffs. He's a muscle goblin, man. Head popped.
Mm-hmm.
We will have to figure out what happens with Gildan and his mysterious companion here in a moment. At the Tree of Andrus, dawn breaks rather early, and the assembled hosts of the Drow and Fellowship and Trade Town march in the pre-dawn hours to their locations. The group has a decision to make. There are 3 groups. You can go with one of 3 groups. You do not have to stick together if you don't want to. Memnon, the night before, approached each of the party members at the War Council and sort of let you know that much of what he's been doing, I'll speak in my PC voice. Much of what I've been doing is focusing, plumbing the depths of my own memory. I can join us for a limited time so that we might speak to each other mind to mind. And I can show you the secrets of the pyramid. And if you're willing, he will perform a psychic ritual that will link the party so that they may communicate telepathically over any distance, sharing information instantaneously with each other.
Mer's down.
Yeah.
She's all for secrets.
It'll be interesting.
Blue's willing?
Oh, yes.
About Elly and Icky. Elly, yeah.
Yeah. It's scary, but yes.
Icky will do it, but she hates it. She hates this. She hates everything, but anything that reminds her of hell is like...
Mm-hmm.
But if he tells her that she'll be able to talk to Elly and Mer, then it'll be fine.
Yeah. It will be as if you were sitting next to each other. And he assures you that it's only communication. Your thoughts are still shielded from each other. So yeah, it's an act of will to communicate.
Okay. Yeah, she'll be okay if he explains all of that.
Yeah. And then I believe I mentioned, or maybe I didn't, but part of the preparations for battle in the morning involves Hell and High Water blessing the party, granting them 10 temporary hit points each as part of the aid spell. A great many magics are wrought that morning as elementals are summoned, primarily water for the river to destroy a blockade that the servitors had constructed, but mostly fire. And the Fellowship and Drow have decided that they will use fire as a weapon, both to conceal the movements of cavalry attack as well as to just overwhelm their enemy. So the group is going to have a decision. You can go with the Tekendar forces, which are mounted on both fast and more slower moving lizards. The Beltane forces, which is the largest group, they're going to be leading the main assault. And then a smaller force of Trade Town residents heading in to infiltrate Trade Town. It's up to you which one you go to. You don't all have to go together as well.
What do we think?
Icky favors the sneakiest entrance. She doesn't like anything that makes her have to run out into the open. But
yeah, Mer's all for the sneakiest entrance
Okay.
as well.
Yeah, Blue would think that'd be smarter.
All right.
The moms have spoken. Elly too agrees.
Nice. So the party will united join the Trade Town group, infiltrating Trade Town via the smuggling tunnels that Icky provided information on and the like. So
that's the group that also I kind of handpicked. Like, oh, we need him specifically. Yeah,
Right.
Yes, this one and this.
and Icky spent a lot of time with them in the last session, teaching them how to kill the guys and everything. So That's
Yeah.
good. That worked out.
That's very good. In that case, we'll describe the rest of the battle at some point. The Tekindar forces are expected to reach the pyramid first and are mainly there to make sure that any returning servitors are not allowed to join their forces. That's the overall plan, like that. The Trade Town force is commanded by 2 individuals. The Orc War Chief Odem, O-D-E-M. I'll put these in our backstage. And the Orc Vux, V-U-K-X. She is a what the party might know as one of the barbarians that lives to the north. Not many of them come this far south into the land between 2 rivers, but they are known. And so she bears the kind of scarification and body modifications that make her look monstrous. She's added like horns and has scarred her skin so that it looks like scales and the like. And she wears her war trophies of all the opponents that she's killed. She leads a portion of those back into Trade Town. So what I would like to do, rather than play out this entire battle, is instead have you guys describe to me a moment in which your character is sort of there for a crucial turning point, leads a group of soldiers into battle or something, or perhaps rescue someone who is in a dire situation. The composition of forces that you're with, which is about 70 soldiers, are mostly people from Trade Town who are would be considered street toughs, mercenaries, bounty hunters, wastelanders. They don't really fight as a cohesive unit like the Drow do or anything. They're more, it's more like that scene in Gangs of New York when the 2 gangs get together and it's just makeshift weapons and cutthroat, knife fight range kind of battles. That's the sort of force that you're with. You also have some support from the Fellowship, including an elemental who can make distraction. Those are your allies. That's also including Roy's and Helen Highwater and some others that Mur assembled. The plan is to sneak in while another group distracts the walls on Trade Town. Facing you are snipers, members of the servitor class who have fortified sections of the city, and whatever else that they have in there that you're not aware of. So I'm going to leave this up to the players, sort of how it goes. There's an initial approach. You guys are stealthy. If something that you describe seems like it might be not necessarily a sure thing, then we'll roll an appropriate skill or something. And if in a failure, it might cost you, say, a spell slot or some of your hit die or something like that. But I'd like for you to think and sort of describe to me a scene in this battle as your characters are either at a pivotal point, help someone out in a dire situation, or are there to take charge and lead. Anybody have anything that jumps out at them right ahead?
So Icky will probably lead them into the city, so it would be like make the most sense chronologically.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because I suspect that as she's leading them into the city, she's trying to keep an eye out. She doesn't have Skitterstep with her, so she can't send him to spy. And so as they're going through like smuggling entrances, you know, she's using like her little shorthand and teaching people which way they need to go. I would say because they're mercenaries, they're probably used to sneaking into cities and stuff, so she probably doesn't get to do anything crazy until after they get into the city. So just starting from there, they're probably already into the city before she gets to do anything.
Okay, so you're there sort of in the first wave sneaking in, but there are others who have preceded Icky as the kind of knife edge of this attack. Okay. One of the first things that they notice and Icky notices as well, is that there are indeed snipers. They look as though they have a longer barreled version of the gun that the other servitors have carried, and but the grass around here is very tall. The smugglers' entrances that Icky is aware of are well hidden, and so from the distances that you're approaching, you're not going to have to worry about the snipers from the outside, but you might have to worry about them as they fire inside Trade Town. The other things that the initial scouts report are barred gates, some sort of headquarters established by the servitors in the market, and small patrols of servitors throughout Trade Town. That looks like the sort of opposition that you're going to face. Icky's with the lead group of scouts as they sneak in. Icky, why don't you go ahead and give me a stealth roll for that?
Oh man, so I hate to retcon this or anything, but is it possible that as they enter the city, Icky casts pass without a trace?
Sure, yeah.
Awesome. So everybody who's traveling with Icky within like 30 feet of her at the time is going to have that.
Sounds good.
Oh, and it's a good thing too. Woo! So that's a 21.
All right.
I saw that and I was like, oh.
That's good. The number to beat is 16, and your allies with you got a 20. So
good.
That's good.
We're having a hard time.
Right. You sneak underneath the sharp-eyed gaze of the snipers and the lookouts on the walls, and find yourself in the city. Now, is anyone else in this first wave with Icky?
I think Blue's going to be on the ground when the firefighting starts.
Okay. Is Baloo part of the sort of a second wave, or are you part of the distracting force that's going to attack the walls as part of a distraction?
Yeah, probably the distracting force. I think that makes more sense considering his showy nature.
Okay.
Like he wants people to notice them.
Okay.
I think Mur is actually going to be in the first wave.
Mur's going to be in the first wave too. Okay.
Mur, do you want to go first?
No, you can go. You can go. I'm gonna think. I was just that occurred to me. It was like, shit, she probably.
Yeah. Mur's gonna go a bit of an adrenaline junkie now.
In that case, you got passed without a trace for an hour, Mur.
Sweet. What did Helen do to you last night? Elly, how about Elly?
I think Elly would want to be part of a distraction, just because she feels, just because the way she looks might be or I guess would be beneficial.
Gotcha.
Words today, I don't know.
You're not their type, Elly.
All right, well, let's see. If Mur is ready, I'll take Mur's description. Otherwise, I will take whoever else is ready to give one.
All right. Mur got a 34 on her stealth for the pass without a trace, and she's done a bit of sniping in her time, so she knows exactly where the snipers would be most advantageous to chill out and hide, and the best ways to take him down. So she'd probably round up a few of the real sneaky looking people. Maybe she's encountered some of them before with previous work. And basically show them and tell them how to move in the shadows and start taking out some snipers on the walls just real quick, just like back at the throat, kind of just slitting them. Very assassin style. She gonna go in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, we've got a good stealth there. I think in terms of either athletics or acrobatics to sort of accomplish this part.
Let's do an acrobatics.
Yeah. In this case,
natural 20. Oh, I am a natural born assassin.
Oh yeah, your companion's got a 16 as well. So 16 is the number to beat for these guys. All right. So in that case, you the group that Mur is leading, give us an idea of you clearing out the some of the snipers' nests.
She probably would have spoken with Icky briefly and been like, what's the best way to kind of quickly get up? Because she knows the town a little bit, but she knows Icky knows the secret passages really well. And she would kind of divide up like 2 assassins per sniper, kind of be like, all right, we're going to go and we're going to just real quick, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, style. Just as quietly as possible, move up. Because if they're sniping, they're going to be looking on the outside of the walls. They're not going to be looking on the inside. So low, and trying to bypass the scouts just to take out the snipers quick, because the scouts aren't going to be as dangerous as the snipers are.
Gotcha. Excellent.
So quick and quiet.
Quick and quiet. Now, one thing I forgot to ask, but it should have. So for those of you in the first wave, which section of the city are you trying to sneak into? The closest is the 4 1/4, then it's the goblins, kobolds, and then orcs.
Okay, so which quarter is the nearest to the pyramid?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to be in that one.
Orc is the nearest to the pyramid. Yeah.
Not that one.
Okay.
Something that's like, all right. So if I'm looking at orc, what's...
So looking at the map there,
I'm looking at it.
right next to the Fellowship Garden is the 4 1/4, and then clockwise from there around the big tent, which is the market. It goes foreign, then goblin, which is also where the stables were, then kobold, and then you see down there at the bottom where it the wall sort of becomes more solid. That is where the orc quarter is at.
What is the one with the narrowest streets so it's easy to bottleneck the ones that are flying on like skiffs and stuff?
Kobold.
That one. We're in that one.
Yeah.
Bottlenecks.
Because I don't want them riding their little flying nonsense through the streets super easy. So if we can get them as close to single file as possible, plus it gives us a ton of little hidey holes, I want that.
Okay. So here we go. Mur's force has entered in and taken out the snipers on the kobold section while Icky's infiltrates underneath the tunnels. Icky, your advanced scouts report back that they have met up with a group of kobolds who have basically been resisting this entire time, and can join you in this. There's about 20 of them. They have, as everyone knows, an extensive network of their own tunnels in and around Trade Town. Their whole quarters, like all the buildings are sort of like up on top of one another, narrow alleys, tunnels. They live like kobolds, right? So that is what you have. You'll pick up some kobold allies along the way and enter into the city undetected. Those of you outside the walls, Elly and Baloo, your force is commanded by Vux, who is this just raw-muscled, badass wasteland warrior with a cleaver axe, over one hand and a curved sword in the other, looking like she stepped out of a pulp fantasy novel, where she's, slaying a bunch of monsters and shit.
Oh, she was the orc, right?
Yes, they're both orcs, but she's the one that's sort of from the savage frontier, as it were.
I like her.
Odom is a member of the Fellowship, is who he is. And she, sort of giving her pep talk and the like as to what's to happen. The plan is to just cause as much distraction as possible. If you can, break through the front gate. But it's to, take the heat off of those who are inside. So as part of this wave, give me an idea of what Elly and Baloo, how you contribute to this.
Are there forces outside of the wall?
Resistance? No.
No. We're gonna set fire to the wall, starting with the door.
Okay.
It's just like that is Baloo's plan. 1, these things hate fire.
Right.
And 2, we burn the wall down. We go inside.
Okay.
And 3, we've got water elementals on our side. So we get the fire going. We get the gate damaged. We get them fleeing the area, and then we throw some water elementals at it to push down what's already been burned. And we move it.
Nice. So how does Baloo start this fire?
Well, I mean, probably the easiest way is for him to get as close as possible, maybe in wild shape form, maybe not. Maybe he can just sneak it. And then just start creating bonfires, just every round. Just
Gotcha.
Literally feeding like a big giant flame.
Okay. Yeah, because you have both create bonfire and control flames, right?
Yes, I do, and produce flame.
Okay,
those are my cantrips.
Those are your cantrips.
Yeah.
So I believe I think the simple combination of create bonfire and control flames is really all you need.
Yeah.
Okay. So Baloo at range starts.
I start firebending.
Start firebending and setting this thing on fire. And of course, there are others there. One of the members of the Fellowship produces a fire elemental, sort of a dancing kind of lithe humanoid-like figure that leaves a trail of fire. Thank you. Wherever it goes, as it sort of dances towards the line and feeds into your own flames. How about Elly?
So, while Blue is making everything oh so lit, Elly probably, if there's anybody out there trying to kind of attack them, she would like to go towards them first, very innocently, and look very lost, as if she doesn't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll definitely be like, I don't know where I am, sir. If there is anybody there. If there is a sir there, or whoever's there.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to go home. I don't want to be here. And depending on what they... she might take out her axe and maybe kill them if...
Alright. So here's something that happens then. Like, Baloo has weakened the gate. You can hear fighting and the like coming from inside the walls. The gate collapses down. There's a surge of Vux's warriors as they all surge through, and they're met by patrols of servitors. And in the swirling chaos of it, you find this opportunity to sort of fool one of the servitors. Go ahead and make me an attack roll for this guy.
Oh, sure. With the brand new tabletop loot dice.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so that is a 14?
Yes, 14 will hit.
Okay, perfect. And then.
Okay.
In this case, because we're doing this sort of a more narrative style, what is it that Elly does? She sort of draws this one in and kind of deceives him, and then as he's close, attack him. So describe to me how Elly leads this attack via deception.
Sure. So, she's approaching this person or thing, and, sir, I don't want to be here. I'm so sorry. I lost my family. And she'll, kind of fall to her knees and kind of put her hands on her face, and then she'll take out her great axe and just swing up, and then probably rage from then.
Right. So Elly is now raging. This was the opening stage of the battle. All the party members, including Gildan, can hear massive fighting in and around the pyramid as the Tekindar forces arrive there first. Several miles north, the Beltane and the rest of the Fellowship forces have started their attack. Great big plumes of smoke rising from the grasslands just beyond the river. Gildan, in your cell, you can hear a great big sort of like a buildup and release of energy periodically coming from somewhere deep within as the machinery embedded in the walls of the pyramid begins to slowly churn to life and defend itself. Those of you outside the walls see that the tip of the pyramid glows green and shoots out a beam of energy in a wide arc in order to defend itself. As
Well, we tried. Let's go home.
Screw it.
I've heard it's real nice up north.
Right.
It's quite lovely. We are just there.
Just there. There's no laser beam shooting pyramid there. This is what's going on as the Tekindar forces start their attack against it. But those of you inside of Traytown can see the effects of this as the entire Orc quarter has been leveled to an ash heap. It is gone, and it mostly just piles of, like I said, ash and rubble. Inside of Trade Town, fighting is fierce. You were able to sneak in past their defenses, and when you sprung your attack, they were unprepared. The snipers on the walls unable to lend assistance, and the warriors in that first wave
Take the spot of the snipers on the wall.
the warriors in the first wave bursting out of the Kobold Quarter and ambushing patrols and the like. You have pushed back the servitors to their headquarters in the market. They have fortified it. They've taken a lot of just, looks like they've deconstructed some of the buildings or broken them down and like made a barricade of some kind. And it is protecting both the market and the docks there. The party attacking Trade Town has a moment again to sort of describe the contributions of their characters to this phase of the battle.
As in, like a literal contribution in regards to fighting?
Sort of in the same way, like, do you rally a group of warriors to lead a charge against Thing? Do you, like, it seems like Mur is going to do her own bit of sniping here in a moment.
How many kobolds I got?
Gosh, I'm going to roll my trusty D30.
Because I got a lot of javelins.
Oh, shit. 30.
I got 30? Awesome. Because I got about 12 javelins that Icky's going to, like, break in half. And she's going to speak to them in Draconic. And she's going to tell them that I have been blessed by the great dragon in the wilds. And he commands you to take back this city. Do it however you must, but you must be savage.
Whoa.
And she's going to give the javelins to them and point out like hidey holes and stuff for them, so that they can strike out against these servitors as the servitors are pushing back to the market district and making their big retreat. She's gonna be like, yeah, the dragon speaks through me and he commands you to take this city back from these intruders.
Holy shit.
Sign. Show us the sign of the dragon.
Oh yeah, and with that, she's gonna pull her amulet out, and she's gonna go ahead and activate that power that he's given her, and call upon the dragon that still inhabits that amulet. And she stands forward. She like puffs out her chest, and they can see like her Gila monster scales just harden and grow like a sort of chromatic, almost a gold. And like she pulls her dentures out, and she's got these actual lizard fangs that are growing out from her teeth. And she, she just like raises her head back. She just like and screams and like gives a big old dragon yell, and like her claws are like enormous. Yeah.
You just whip these kobolds into a frenzy, and they've got
awesome.
Javelins and other sort of weapons that they have, and surge forward in a wave of kobold mob.
Yeah, and she's, feast my children. I have returned to you.
They just are like, ah! And lead the charge into the marketplace with a wave of 30 kobolds that washes over the barricades there. I think, it's a good. Have Icky make me some kind of, I want to say like intimidate. You're not intimidating the kobolds, you're like pumping them up, you know?
Yeah.
If you have
maybe
something like
a
that. Performance, maybe? Yeah.
I don't really have anything in charisma for them,
But you've got a dragon amulet that's got them whipped up, so you'll have advantage on this.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would love that. Oh, thank goodness. I got a 17 with my -1.
Okay, yeah. There's a surge as the kobolds follow your lead and seizing the opening. Other warriors begin to follow. How about someone else?
So we reached the wall, correct? And
Past the wall. You guys burned past it, bursted through it. Elly was deceptive.
Nice. Where is the fellowship guy? The
Odom.
Odom.
He's with another part of it. He he himself is not a particularly stealthy individual. They are lending magical support and the like. So they are slinging spells, mostly fire-based spells at the walls, and are following behind Vux's warriors in support of them.
Okay. Yeah, I think that, like, at this point, Baloo wants to get as deep as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he saw the big green laser, so
yeah,
we don't need to be in
fired
Trade
several times now.
Yeah, we don't need to be in Trade Town. So, like, stoked on as he is going to try to get. I mean, honestly, he's trying to get to the pyramid as soon as he can.
Yeah,
and try to get as much support to the pyramid as soon as he can.
Okay.
But he wants to know. He wants to know what the Fellowship Quarter is like.
The Fellowship Quarter is heavily damaged. The Grove has been. It was the site of a major resistance in that first attack, right? Mm-hmm. And so many of the trees and sort of vegetation there has been damaged, burned, churned up, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have, when we were planning, did we have a force specifically that was planning on going to the pyramid en masse?
Everyone is trying. The Tekindar forces there bottling up theirs, but the whole idea was that you would bum rush the fortress as quickly as possible.
Okay.
And you can see that the Tekindar forces are indeed fighting some sort of fierce battle at the entrance to the pyramid.
Okay. I want to get to them.
Okay.
That's what I want to do.
How do you cross the river?
As a razor dolphin.
Okay.
I'm just gonna turn into just like the Pokemon version of a dolphin. I'm just gonna switch into it and dive in, and from the shores as much as I can support, and if I have to, I'll shift right back out when I get there.
Nice. All right. So Baloo rushes past everyone and dives into the water in order to get to the pyramid. Let's have Mur. You are sniping at someone. You said, and just lending.
Yeah,
that support.
I'm lending like back support, sniping from. Okay. Take out the sniper, take their perch.
Yeah.
Basically.
Go ahead and give me an attack roll for that.
Okay. Using my tabletop.
Yeah. And then what is Elly going to be doing?
Oh. Well, that is going to be a 24.
So Elly, as soon as
tabletop loot,
she just smacked this person with her great axe, she's just gonna yell, ah, and then go into she's gonna yell and look back to everybody and give them like a, not this, just like a, and then just go into a rage. And she doesn't have many words, unlike her adoptive moms.
So there's a charge. There's a as Elly sort of looks around for an opening. There's a wave of kobolds that have been led by Icky that have created an opening in the enemy defenses. You can see Vux sort of rallying people to take advantage of that. Are you going to join them, or will you strike out on your own in the attack?
I could probably join them. Maybe take some of the villains or enemies with me.
Yeah.
Just run and slice.
Yeah, we're doing something different than just like normal D&D comments. So yeah, you're sort of like Elly is smashing her way along with these other sort of hardened wasteland warriors, led by this scarified orc. Vux here, and so yeah, Elly's just hacking her way through it. You can see Baloo is raced to pyramid. It looks as though the defenders, who were not that numerous in Trade Town to begin with, will fall at any moment. And here in just a second, we'll find out what the aftermath is. Gildan, yes, thank you, Josh Jones. Gildan, you there is a flurry of activity. You can hear all sorts of running through hallways, the sound of this sort of machinery and energy building up and then releasing. And it feels as though this place has suddenly burst into life.
All right. Well, I don't have any way to tap into the brain of the pyramid itself.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, if the pyramid itself has burst into life, maybe it is alive. Maybe I can speak to it. I'm going to call out to my friend across the hall. Hey, Elly's sister. I'm going to call you Nelly. Nelly. Yes.
She's sort of like not whispering now because it's sounds like that she's. You can call me Corsica. I'm almost free.
Yeah. Corsica. I intentionally mispronounce her name. And I'm like, I you gotta hurry. This place is gonna fall apart. We're gonna die. Hey, Cortana.
Oops. You hear a scraping sort of noise, and I'm free. Just a moment. And there's some sort of activity that's going on right outside your door. You can see a shadow that passes beyond the light, like it's sort of like in front of your door.
Looking around my room, is there any good spot? Gildan's a little goblin. Is there any good spot for him to hide?
No, this is a small featureless room without a bed or even a place to go to the bathroom.
So here's exactly how it's going to work. Gildan is essentially going to wait for the door to open, then dive underneath whoever's legs are out there and just slide. I'm going to try to grease myself up as sweaty as I can and just try to slide.
Pulling a Bronson.
Yeah, let's go ahead and make opposed initiative checks to see. Well, it's not even. Let's roll initiative real quick. I've been playing too much other systems. I got a 13 for my initiative. As the door seems to swing open.
Yeah, you get to go first.
Okay, there is someone who she's not Elly's build. And the red light sort of backlights her, and her features are in shadow, but she's definitely human.
So when they built you, who did it? Oh, I'm sorry.
There's not time for that, Gildan.
No, we gotta go.
There.
Do you have any bags to carry me in? That's normally how they get me around.
No, you can see that she's much like you. Like she's been almost everything has been taken from her.
Yeah. Is she prettier than Elly? Because this matters. Okay, you don't have to answer that.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, I gotta go. I'm gonna be like, well, come on, let's go.
Her hair isn't as good. And yeah, so she goes first. She just opened the door. That she doesn't do anything sort of threatening or anything. You find yourself. There's a door right across the hall. If you're looking at the map there on screen, if you look at the bottom, the two purple rooms opposite each other with a short hallway that leads east is where you exit out of. You can see a larger room ahead of you, more lights and sort of noises coming from that way. That is what Gildan sees right now. Gildan, give me an idea of what you are doing as you first exit.
All right, here is what I am doing. I am attempting, as I come out of the room, to make full rush as I'm going to check. Here's the hard thing. Logically, they wouldn't keep my stuff anywhere near me, but if I don't check rooms near me, I may not have stuff. But rather than belabor the point, I'm going to be rushing essentially. We're using the map on stream, just full run south, and I'm going to try to just barrel that door open. If it's a pull open door, I'm going to bounce off of it, then try to catch the handle on the way back.
Yeah. You run in. You're looking for other sort of stuff. Give me a strength check for these doors.
Can I use athletics or no?
You can use athletics for this, yeah.
All right, so here we go. Goblin Man. 22.
Oh, yeah. 22. Are you pulling open the door of one of these purple rooms or this sort of bluish one?
Oh,
I don't know if it's on the screen right now.
it's not. So, okay, I thought I was I thought I was going back the other way. So I'd go to the purple room. Just purple room.
Yeah. You open this one, and in front of you is the crumpled form of Barnabas, unclothed as you are, just wearing rags, clearly tortured and beaten and broken. You can see him in front of you.
Is he breathing?
He's breathing.
All right. So here's what I can do. I have lots of spells that I can do that are verbal only that I know. And the spell I'm going to do to start is a prayer of healing, basically. Now, unless you say it's not that he's low on hit points, Grant, it's that he suffered, like, say, 3 or 4 levels of exhaustion. In that case,
he's got a lot of things going on with him. He needs good night's rest, at the very least. But he has wounds as well.
Yeah, I'm going to... well, then I'm just going to touch him since there's not a lot of people, and I'm going to cure wounds at 2nd level, just gobbling up onto him.
Okay. As you're doing that, he sort of like comes to Gildan.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
He's like, I didn't realize that they would capture you with what I told them. He just starts confessing to this, you know.
They didn't. I turned myself in.
What?
Sometimes the best defense is a good offense.
What? He looks confused, trying to get up. Who is that with you? And Corsica comes in and helps up.
Yeah, Corsica. She's Elly's sister.
There is.
You can tell from the birthmark.
Yes. Oh yeah, I can see the resemblance. And it's at this point that Corsica starts fiddling with these manacles that entrap Gildan's hands. And after a few moments of not particularly pleasant or comfortable manipulation, she's able to remove them from Gildan's hands.
All right. Now I can become the punch goblin I was born to be.
Mm-hmm.
I put them up in, the Queensberry style, and I'm going to kind of go around looking for some dukes to throw.
All right. As you exit into the larger room that connects these corridors full of prison cells, there is a cold that creeps up your spine, and an entity of some sort begins to coalesce and form in the air. You can feel it as more of a pressure in your head and a sort of a visual distortion as a pain elemental which guards the prison manifests itself and begins to attack. We'll figure out what happens here in a minute. Trade Town, guys.
All right.
I'm getting some concerned looks.
How are you gonna just drop a pain elemental? Just be like, oh, by the way, we have these now, and it's just like
everyone just sees Grant get rattled. It's like, wait, it's immune to pain.
You guys are D&D heroes. You'll figure it out.
I'm concerned.
The battle for the Market of Trade Town was fierce, but thanks to Icky's kobolds and the charge of the Wastelanders, you have broken the back of the resistance of the servitors in Trade Town. Across the river stands the pyramid. You can see Baloo has exited the river in dolphin form and has joined the Tekindar forces, who are what look like they've made their way inside the pyramid. The battle is left the entrance and is now inside.
Yeah.
So curious to know how everybody, if you're trying to get into the pyramid, how you get across, and what Baloo is going to do right now.
Well, Blue exits while making a dolphin sound, and then shifts in midair, lands on the ground, starts running.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking to join the fray. Who does he know who's commanding forces at the entrance to the pyramid?
Yes. Commanding forces at the entrance to the pyramid is Sabata, as well as her lieutenant, Kevlon.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. How do they look like they're doing?
They look like they've suffered some losses, particularly getting past whatever barrier was around this place. But they did well enough that they were able to press into the pyramid. You can hear fighting coming from the main corridor. Now, Baloo is sort of getting his first really good look at this thing. It looks as though there may be two entrances. There's one on the ground level that's about 20 feet wide and has a low ramp that sort of comes down. That was what the servitors were sort of coming out of the very first time you saw them. And then about 3/4 of the way up the pyramid, on the face that's facing Trade Town, is a small opening and a balcony of some kind. That puts it about, I'm going to go ahead and say 150 feet up the side of the pyramid. Those are the only two entrances that Blue is able to discern. It looks as though the drow are fighting on the ground level.
Okay. Is there a bottleneck?
Yeah. Yes. It's a fortress. There's a bottleneck. Yeah. They fought their way past that bottleneck.
Oh, okay. So okay. Because I was going to actually do some healing.
There are wounded around if you wish to contribute to those efforts.
I'm going to conjure a healing spirit. Maybe, Jim. Maybe deep down in the earth, there's a little tiny fae that is just waiting to get out and help heal the planet.
Okay.
And I conjure it invisibly, and it starts to heal those around. And while he's got some time, because I'm not going round by round, while he's got some time, he's going to help flip the fairy to and fro, healing.
Okay. Yeah, that's quite a bit of healing for the whatever minute that it's up, and many of the drow forces are rejuvenated and replenished by Baloo's spell. How about the rest of them?
It's a 10-foot radius, so you can heal quite a bit at a time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. How about everybody else?
Can I hijack one of their speeders?
Yeah, there are a few. Looking at the docks, those are the only vessels that are there. You don't see any of the myriad of boats that were there. Of course, at the time of the attack, it was market day. The docks were, overcrowded even. None of those boats are there, but there are some skiffs and the like.
Well, it's a good thing I know how to drive those little things. So I'm gonna grab Elly because she is fragile. I'm gonna look over. Are you feeling all right? Are you okay? Are you good? Are you ready to cross the river?
She's still in a rage.
All right, let's go. You can be angry at the pyramid, and I'm just gonna guide her along, and sit her on the back seat, and I'm gonna get in the front seat. We're gonna fly her across towards the pyramid super fast.
Okay.
I'm very good at driving these.
Yeah. So you get you've got an Elly go across. How about Icky? How does Icky get across here?
I don't know. I guess it's a dock. They probably got like bridges and stuff for people who come in on land across the river. Icky, what's Vux doing?
They're taking trophies.
Okay, they're taking trophies. Man, Icky wants to be part of that.
Are they stabbing the dead ones with their weapons?
Are there any insurgents from Trade Town that are going to the pyramid?
Yeah, there are a lot of them that are looking for vessels. Like I said, there's no boats on the docks there, but there are some who are trying to like either create makeshift ones or find some way to build something, and it looks like the Fellowship are some of them are on the dock's edge coming up and talking. It's like they're planning something as well.
So tell me about this pyramid real quick. Does it look like, from what Icky has seen of it before, after she got out of the tunnel, does it look like it's kind of revving up for another pew pew?
Yeah, it looks like at the moment most of its attention was on the Tekindar forces opposite, but now that they have gone in, it has no other targets other than Trade Town.
Okay, and so it has annihilated the Orc quarter, which I'm sure that Icky has heard about from the other insurgents. Can Icky discern in any way which way the pew pew is facing? Because it feels like
it looks like it's omnidirectional. It's like the tip of the pyramid. Here, I've got it here. Here's a pyramid.
Okay.
Don't get zapped.
Okay, cool. So Icky definitely knows that there are that the largest concentration of forces for fighting and stuff are in the marketplace. So she's going to tell everybody that if they are not going to the pyramid, then they need to get back in the tunnels.
Okay.
And she's going to do what she can to get across the river. I guess just swim. Just swim across the river and hope that the water helps her out if something happens.
It looks like a lot of them are a lot of the warriors are deciding to swim. This part, it's rather wide, but the river is not that fast flowing. Okay. In fact, it's actually a little lower because upriver is where they had built the barricade to.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So between that and some sort of earth magic that the Fellowship is able to conjure up, they kind of create an area where you're less swimming and more like in chest deep.
Yeah, kind of treading water.
Yeah. And it is with that sort of first wave with Elly and Myrrh on one of the knife chariots flying across, and then Icky and the rest of some of the warriors crossing, that the beam on top of the pyramid charges and shoots in a line running sort of a diagonal from the where the Fellowship garden was on through the market. And some of the warriors had made it to safety, but many of them seem to have been affected by the beam.
What about my cult?
Oh, your kobolds?
Yeah, my cult bulbs.
How many survived, Jim?
Some of them survived, but some of them have survived. But I'm gonna press fast forward on us for a minute as the party surges across the river. Baloo is helping. Gildan, we're not sure yet exactly. The party itself finds themselves united in front of the entrance to the pyramid. There is fighting going on inside. You can see multicolored lights from different arcane technology from the interior of the pyramid. That is where they are at. We're going to go back to Gildan.
All right. So as Gildan sees the pain elemental,
sorry,
he bites into his hand just once really hard, and then he turns and revealing his teeth form a perfect hag puppet in his hand, and then Duel of the Fates begins to play in the background. Kora Mata, as he casts Spirit Guardians, yes, because he needs his holy symbol, and his holy symbol obviously is any puppet in the form of a hag. So yes, and that's what we're doing.
All right, I would like it at this at this point. I want all of us to roll initiative. We will go in initiative order as we're now all the city. That's perfect.
I'm dead inside, Jim.
You have to ride the embarrassment, and then it takes you.
I can't.
No, you can't. Just hold on.
My dragon children.
My top initiative is 20. Anybody beat that? No. Anybody? No, I'm getting a bunch of no's. All right. Who's got next?
I've got 12.
12?
I've got 11.
Wow. Baloo with a 12. All right, next. We got an 11. I heard an 11.
I have a 10.
10.
Oh my god.
I've got 11.
Why are you next with a 12?
I used my best roll on that speech. I got an 8.
I got a 9 for my other turn. How about Elly?
I got a 5.
Oh, no.
I'm next with a 12?
Yeah. You're the first of the party to go.
Heck
Right.
yeah.
All right. So Gildan is going to go before the pain elemental. The overall initiative is going to be myself as a mystery right now. Baloo, Gildan, Myrrh. Oh, I forgot Icky. Icky had an 11. You said not 11. It was 9.
8.
8. My goodness. All right.
Mm-hmm.
There
We
we
rolled
go.
great.
Yeah. All right.
We had
Myself,
we
Blue,
had to take it down.
Blue, Gildan, Myrrh, myself, Icky, and then Elly. Gildan, you are able to act before this thing can act, and you have cast your Spirit Guardians, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
And what I want to do is move and get it within the radius, and then for my action, I would like to essentially ready an action where if it approaches me, I'm going to back up as far as I can and let it keep coming at me. So hopefully it's in the Guardians, and then I back away, and then it comes forward and goes back into the Guardians. Maybe.
Nice.
We'll see.
Playing the long game.
There is a so okay, what's your spell difficulty?
14.
14. All right, I passed as you enter into it. So it still takes half damage, right?
Yeah, so let me roll that. Half of 6 is 3.
All right. Writing something down real quick. So 3. This thing, as it's formed, it's got a featureless, more like a featureless outline. You get a sense that this thing has been feeding on whatever psychic torture, emotional manipulation, mind games that Ling likes to do with his prisoners, has fed on it and is now attacking you with all of that. It appears as though its arms, they end in more like harpoon points instead of digits or hands. And they seem extra long as it kind of stabs its way towards you, walking on all fours. And its face, you make out a vague sort of empty void stare of something staring back at you, but it's kind of hazy, difficult to look at. It makes its attack. It matches your Spirit Guardians and raises you Psychic Leech. I need Gildan to make me a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw or take some psychic damage.
It's a Wisdom saving throw,
It is
so
a wisdom
and let me just make sure that okay, this is great. He is going to have a very hard time doing this to Gildan.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm using Roll20 to log my stuff.
No worries.
16. Made it.
So instead you take half, which is 5.
Okay, I was so worried you're gonna be like, you take half, which is 27. Then I'd be like, jeez!
No. You take half, which is 5 psychic damage. That is a passive thing, and it is going to, it sort of like extends one of its pointed harpoon arms at Gildan until it's long enough to reach, making, I'm assuming a 23 hits Gildan.
Naked Gildan, yes.
Yeah,
Many
right.
things hit Naked Gildan.
Many
Is
things
easy.
hit Naked Gildan. In that case, it's going to get you for 10 piercing damage, and you are grappled, escape DC 15.
Quick question. Does this thing re-enter my Spirit Guardians at all? Did it approach me at all?
It never left once it approached you.
Okay, because if it approached me, I said my ready statement was to back away.
How much movement do you have? I got 60 feet of reach.
Well, I guess if it wants to hit me from outside, it can.
It does that. Corsica leaps into action. She was supporting Barnabas, and it appears as though she needs no weapon as she tries to engage this insubstantial psychic manifestation in some way. You feel a physical force that's pierced you because it's still there. You are stuck to it. Corsica will be able to help you on that escape DC. When it is your turn, cutting back to the rest of the players. Y'all are at the entrance. Inside, the interior is lit up by all sorts of multicolored lights. There is a sounds of fierce battle going on. Sounds like to your left as you enter, like I guess to the south, if you're there looking at the map near where the purple room is. There's some sort of yellowish glow coming from a hallway to the north, or you can continue deeper into the pyramid where you see a pulsating green energy slowly building itself.
Hello, Memnum? Yes.
Yeah.
GPS?
Yes.
This is the Servitude Quarters and barracks. They will be sending from the clone pits underneath. There are several hidden passageways nearby that they will use to get around you. If you can disrupt the central... you can tell he's sort of like fighting through some kind of psychic interference. You can disrupt the central focusing mechanism. You might be able to disable the pyramid's defenses.
Excellent. So that is further in?
Further in.
All right. Thank you very much. How fast does the cloning work?
And he struggles for a moment. They are...
Is it fast? Is it like, oh, it takes a whole week, 7 days. It's just 7 days I can make you a man. Like, how is this?
They're force grown in a matter of days, but there is a reserve.
Oh, of course. Thank you. We'll check in once we are deeper.
So you have three choices. You can head towards the purple rooms, the yellow rooms, or the green rooms.
Well, we don't want to go towards the barracks.
Yeah, purple is where the sounds of fighting are really coming from.
That's what I'm going to assume the barracks are then.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just go deeper in. Disable that mechanism. Because if we disable it, I have a feeling it's going to be a lot easier.
I say green, yeah.
Okay, heading deeper into the green.
Absolutely.
As you pass by, there is a knot of drow sort of clustered around this corridor that's heading south towards the purple rooms. They are exchanging sort of like, most of the drow either have bows, some of them look like they've picked up the servitors' weapons, and many of them have like the sabers and the muskets that they have. The room here is filled with a hazy smoke from all of the fighting that's been going on. So there's some sort of fighting that's there. You can bypass it if you like.
One more quick question, Memnon. Are there ranks of servitors? Is anyone higher ranking than another?
There's only Leng.
Thank you.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, if we pass by one that just happens to die within a certain amount of feet of me, I want to steal its shadow.
Okay. There are several of those in the entryway alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually hide it in your cleavage.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's already shadows there. It blends right in.
Yeah. Cast a nice deep shadow.
All right. So Myrrh becomes one of these servitors.
I can hold on to it.
Oh, you can hold on to it.
I can just hold on to it.
Oh, nice.
Jeez.
All right. So you take its shadow.
I can use it when I won't.
Nice. How about everybody else? As you make your way deeper into this pyramid, what's your MO? How do you proceed? Helen is with you. She is in the back and wielding her magic in support of the party.
So are we talking about two entrances in? Because on the map we see two.
Sort of like a split.
Yeah.
Either one of those if you like. We're not doing a traditional dungeon crawl here. More part of the reason why the map is color coded the way it is, just to give you an idea of where we're at on it. You are approaching the section that is green. That's where your characters are at. These maps are also by Dice and Logos, guys. We're using them under the free for commercial use license that he provides. So
Dyson is fantastic.
Yeah, Dice is pretty fantastic and has a perfect map for the interior of a pyramid.
Yeah, I love his side view maps. Whichever side is less occupied, I feel like we should penetrate through, because we can always support from the other side if need be.
Okay. Excellent. And like I said, it's not so much that that you are, that we're going to go through this like room by room. You're approaching forward. There is a steady green glow from up ahead. The closer you get to it, the more intense, the brighter it seems. And as you round the corner into this area, you see walls that are lined with sort of runic circuitry and arcanotech machinery of some sort. None of it makes a lot of sense, but it seems as though this entire central area here, all the cluster of rooms and everything, is some sort of focusing mechanism. As you can see, green energy tracing along these runic circuits towards the center.
Is there a big giant on-off switch?
It is not. How close do you get to this thing? It's a column of green energy.
Yeah, how far away is it, the column?
As you round a corner, it's going to be more like 80 feet away from where you are.
Let's see what the range on this spell is. Oh! Can I try to dispel magic?
You can try.
Sure.
Can't hurt to try.
Yeah. So, I'm guessing it's a 4th level or higher, like a type of. Okay, so I'm gonna roll for it. So I use my spellcasting ability. Sweet. Okay. Come on, tabletop loot. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a 24.
All right. Myr weaves her spell and sends it against this column of green energy, and it dims considerably to just an ember of an emerald glow, and it gives you a brief moment. There is this energy column occupies a central shaft that, as you look up, you can kind of see other levels of the pyramid above you, and that's sort of what you're able to see. However, that green glow, that ember, is getting brighter.
Okay, yeah,
You've only suppressed it for a time.
I'll let Memnon know.
Okay.
As soon as it goes dim, I'm going to just like erratically shoot my laser eye beams at the wall. at circuits.
At the glyphs and the symbols, yeah.
Yeah. Can I do a quick Arcana check to see like maybe here would be a good shot?
Yeah. How about Elly and Icky?
I think Elly, if there's any weird machinery, she's gonna try to hit it because she's panicking.
Hell yeah!
Smash.
Smash. All right.
18, Jim.
18 damage
for an Arcana.
Oh, okay, for Arcana. Yeah, I mean, it's, who knows what all this is. It might take a lifetime of study, but you can see the channels through which the green energy is seemingly channeled towards this central column, and can target that, as well as direct anyone else's efforts if you wish. Elly's smashing. How about Icky?
Icky doesn't know anything about this stuff, so she's just gonna kind of stand guard, kind of judge a place where her breath weapon would be the most effective if she had to use it, and just like stand guard, make sure no servitors sneak up on them while they're trying to break everything.
Yeah. As you guys break this, Gildan, You're in there, locked into mortal combat with the manifestation of pain, and the lights in the whole place dim slightly. You can act before it. So,
Quick question.
what do you do?
What damage type did it do to me last round?
It did psychic damage and piercing damage.
Okay. Not much I can do about that. So I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon at a higher level and have it attack it, and then I'm going to move close enough to get it back in with the Spirit Guardians.
Okay.
So let me take a Swingo McSwingoton with that dude, because that's what Gildan does.
No good?
Why'd you get killed?
Nah. 7. And then it has to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right.
You failed me, Hags.
I passed my wisdom save.
Okay, so let's see. Half of that. Man, come on, Gildan, you little jerk. He did a 17, so half of that is 8.
That's it. All right. Gilded and this thing are locked in Mortal Kombat. You have not attempted to escape its grapple.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm grappled. Yeah, there's not much I can do there.
Give me another wisdom save, as you can feel your connection to it. It's leeching something from you.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at those. So I got 24.
24. It's going to pass. Take half of 18, which is going to be 9 psychic damage.
Yeah. Okay.
And so there is a Gildan and this pain elemental are, it's trying to draw out whatever it feeds on from you. You can feel it sort of draining you with this. As Elly and Baloo below just start rampaging through the delicate and intricate machinery around this channel. And give me some Elly and Baloo, give me an idea, just like you guys just wrecked shop here. There's exploding energy all around you. The flickering ember of this emerald energy sputters, bursts in a bright, almost white light before dimming itself, and the entire pyramid goes dark. Near the entrance, sunlight shines in. If you've got dark vision, you'll be fine. But all of the intricate circuitry and the like starts to dim. There's little glimmers and lights and twinkles in the darkness and the like, but it's not the intense glowing that had been coming from some of these. Gildan, where you are at, the lights go dim, and you can feel abruptly as this thing is no longer attached to you. And looking about, you don't see it manifesting in the air.
Gildan's disappointed. He was just going to keep curing himself each round while it takes damage. But as he lands, he goes, "Ha-ha! I am triumphant once again! Son of Hags, leader of the ways, prophet, bold and true, shall lead you from this place." And then I kind of wacky dance towards the door I was headed to.
All right.
I still have my spiritual weapon floating around, my spirit guardians, and I cure wounds on myself for some HP.
Nice. And wait just a second. You all notice, you know how sometimes when, like, I don't know if you've had like a toothache or something and you get it fixed and you're like, man, I was in a lot of pain and I didn't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
You all feel that as something that was just weighing on your mind is absent now. And there's a Mimnon comes in loud and clear. Whatever you did, there's no more. I cannot feel his reach.
We disrupted and mostly destroyed the central thingy you told us about.
Ah, excellent. And you feel like for the first time in any time in the few weeks that you've known Memnon, a sense of like maybe relief, or perhaps even hope come through. He leads you through a mass of corridors to the north, past a room that looks like it's got some sort of ceramic material growing in vats of yellow sort of liquid. They're making swords and armor and all these kinds of things. Leads you past a door there to a staircase leading up. You don't have to follow Memnon's directions. You can find other places to go. But Fellowship, Drow, your allies are pouring into the pyramid, and you are sort of right in front of this large wave of people that are going to be here very soon. What is the Icky and Myrrh and all you guys? What do you do?
Do we need to fight anybody else now?
We should probably take care of that Lang fellow, find Gildan, Skitterstep.
Okay, I don't want to suggest splitting up because I think that's a bad idea. But
do you know where they would keep prisoners, Gildan, Memnon?
Not on the level that I was familiar with. The level immediately above the barracks. I think there's a great deal there. He kept it very secret. Lang did.
All right, I will try something, and I'm gonna well, I guess it's pure darkness, so I'm just gonna assume my mantle of whispers, and I magically transform into a disguise, and I look like the dead guy. But while I'm in disguise, I gain access to all information that he would share freely with a casual acquaintance. But they were like hive mind, so I don't know how that quite works. Such information includes general details on its background and personal life, does not include secrets, but it's enough that you can pass yourself off on the person by drawing on its memories.
Yeah, okay. So the memories of a hive mind. Yeah.
And psychic is my specialty.
Yes, it is. Myrrh is able to draw out from the shadow of this thing's memory that the prison is on the second level of this.
Okay.
So the barracks are the first. This would be on the second level.
Okay.
And the staircase that you found in the armory.
Okay. If we take this staircase through the armory, and I actually probably sound like the other guys, just not even realizing. If we take this staircase through the armory, it will lead us to the second floor, and that is where the prisoners are held.
Well, let's go.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. The party races up the staircase. Gildan, Corsica, and Barnabas. What do you do at this moment?
All right, I believe we were headed to the purple room, and we found, was the Ping Guardian in that room, or was it in front of it?
It was sort of in the larger room that was sort of connected to the purple room.
Okay.
There's a staircase that's leading up out of here.
Let's go up the staircase.
Okay. Up the staircase. Oops. No, so let's go up the staircase. And it's a long, sloping staircase that that winds its way into a larger area where there's like much like holding cells, basically. Where you were in was more individual. This is more people being kept in large enclosures, and you can see denizens of Trade Town, people crammed and packed in here, all of those that Lang has kidnapped, waiting to question about Gildan and Memnon's whereabouts. As you come up here, you can hear shouts of people pleading, "Let us out, what's happening?"
I want that hag weapon to be like bashing locks and like spirit guardians pushing open doors, and we're like a hag gang, and I'm like, Doves flying around me, naked.
Korska is coming through, assisting where she can, but seems on edge and wary. As the party races up to the second level, you can hear all of this echoing through the halls. You enter into what looks to be a row of large crystal tubes, like large, right? Like you could put a body in these. Some of them are filled with a type of liquid, but some of them are empty. And whatever controls or things that you can use to manipulate these structures have gone dim now. You can hear from somewhere to the south of you this cacophony of noise, metal banging and crashing open, people screaming and the like. But right now you find yourself in what appears to be some sort of research area.
The Gildan in me wants to just start crashing everything as hard as he can and be like, let's bring this place to the ground.
You guys can hear Gildan shouting.
Yeah. I'm gonna make my body change colors, but this time instead of going pink, I'm going gold. I'm the golden goblin from now on. It's kind of like the Silver Surfer, just as naked.
Yes,
just as naked.
And like, yeah, and then I'm just gonna be like, and I'm gonna be using my hag weapon, and I'm just gonna be beating on it. The Spirit Guardians, I guess they can't really attack it, but it's kind of like, guys, hags, tear this place apart.
Mm-hmm. All of you who've just run up the staircase and find yourself in this research facility can hear this, and even hear and sort of see the glow of Gildan's skin color through the corridors. They're otherwise silent. And do you all stay in the area with the what looks like the research? Do y'all go elsewhere?
I would probably run towards Gildan.
Yeah,
Okay.
ditto.
Okay.
I'll let them be the welcome party. Is there anything really interesting right in my nearby vicinity?
It looks like there's a lot of there's a lot.
Oh, well, you know what, Jim? I have a bag of holding, so I'm just going to be walking along.
There are two main areas where it looks as though research is conducted at either end of this glowing yellow line of tubes. Myrrh begins to loot the place of the research. How about Icky?
Icky's gonna stay with Myrrh for the most part because she's kind of bringing up the rear. So
Okay.
the last thing that she wants.
It looks like one of the servitors just looting.
Looks like one of the
Yeah, the last thing she really wants is for like servitors to like sneak up on them in these like little hallways and stuff. She already doesn't like it here. She already feels like they've been here way too long.
Yeah. You can hear fighting coming from down below. You can hear the screams of people shouting for help here. And those of you racing towards Gildan, this is Elly and Blue. You pass through a large central chamber. This would be the one that you stared up at not too long ago as you destroyed the machinery. All around you are chronal cogitators, planar astrolabes, and all sorts of deference engines that are trying to calculate some sort of improbable time travel sort of business. You're in a large room with an open chamber in the middle of it, and floating down through this chamber as Elly and Baloo run in on their way towards Gildan is the silver-masked, purple-robed figure of Lang. His collar high around his head, his shoulder pads extra pointy, and the expression underneath the blank silver mask, one of annoyance and confrontation. Lang got a 21 on his initiative, and we'll go first. We are now in official initiative order. To remind the party, it is myself, Baloo, and Gildan, Myrrh, Icky, and Elly. Lang descends from the ceiling, and as he spies Elly and Baloo, mutters a sort of, "What did you do?" And you can feel his sort of eyes fixate on Baloo, but also curiously kind of like cocks his head a bit at Elly. And where once there were two Langs, where once there was one Lang, there is now two. as a second Lang materializes in front of you and begins to advance on both Elly and Blue. Let's see here. So the first one created a chronal duplicate of himself, pulling a future version of himself into the past to assist with the party in fighting the party. The second one takes its turn immediately after, and let me see. Blue does an 11 hit Blue?
No.
Okay. The second one that shows up points its outstretched hand, and this beam of it's sort of like negative space shoots out of it, sort of outlined in this stark white and black, and it barely misses Baloo. Behind you, you can see where it has hit the wall of the arcane circuitry. It has crumbled to dust and aged itself out of existence almost. That beam narrowly misses Baloo. It's the end of my turn. That makes it Baloo's turn.
Okay. So, this whole area that we're in, is it pretty tight quarters, or are we kind of in that central area?
You guys are in that central area. If you see where the green is in the middle, that is where the open shaft that goes both up and down. The walls around there are covered in arcane computers and circuitry and the like. And so there's a lot of cover things to pick up and throw around if you want, that sort of thing. But one of the versions of Lang is floating in the middle of where that green area is, and the other is much closer to you. It's theater of the mind. It's close.
Well, okay, so this whole area, Jim, would you say it is at least a 40-foot radius, or?
Yes, it is more than a 40-foot radius.
More than a 40-foot, okay.
Much more than a 40-foot radius.
Well, centered on the guy floating in the air, I'm going to summon a sleet storm.
Okay.
And just the whole area just becomes showered in snow and sleet and ice. If it covers me, I don't care, because I don't have to make concentration saves, because I'm also entering into Nature's Fury.
Right.
So, basically, I'm just turning the whole place into a fucking blizzard.
Okay. That what obscures vision. They have to make a save if they're concentrating on a spell or something.
Yep. And if they're on the floor, they fall prone unless they make a dex save.
One of them is flying. Actually, they both appear to be flying.
Okay.
Looks like they can hover. Okay, but you've obscured vision, prevented, or triggered concentration checks, the like.
Yes, so that's my action and bonus action.
All right, Blue has summoned a storm of ice and sleet. It's Gildan's turn. You can sort of see all of this in the next room over, Gildan, as you're smashing up.
How far away?
It's a move action to move between rooms.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but about how many feet? Can I see Link there?
You can see one of them. You cannot see the first.
Well, I'm gonna hands on my hip and then thorn whip him.
What? That's what.
Sorry, I've been waiting for that.
All right, go ahead and make your attack.
I better not miss, or if
AC,
I do.
AC is 15.
Did you do what I thought you did, Gildan?
Yes, I did what.
Yeah.
All right. It's keeping it blue. I like it.
No, I got an 8.
Okay.
So I might as well go. Why? And then I might as well use the rest of my turn move in with my spirit guardians and just be like, "Hey guys, it's me again. My name is Gildan. By the way, I get a bonus action with the spiritual weapon. Like next round. Now that got an 18.
Oh yeah, 18 hits.
All right. Plus the other one. 8 points of radiant damage, and then I assume it has to make a wisdom saving throw for the spirit guardians.
Yeah. Yes, passed. I got a 26.
Yeah, totally makes it. And it will take half of 4.
This is when Gildan can see the second Lang floating in the.
Oh, I see him.
There he is.
I get a thorn whip him up high and pull him down.
To wait till next round. I'm going to take a legendary action, and present Lang casts a dispel magic on the sleet storm.
Does that work automatically? It's second level, so yeah.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And then that's the legendary action that I'm taking. That makes it to Mur's turn.
So I'm looting everything.
Still looting. There's sounds of the battle.
Do I hear them getting into trouble specifically? Because we were the only ones up here. I go, I look longingly at all the stuff I haven't put in my bag yet. And I walk over. And I look around the corner. And I see all this. And there's two Langs. One looks older than the other. They look the exact same.
They look the exact same.
Okay.
They're wearing the same gear.
Okay.
This guy's all silver and purple and like a bad Flash Gordon.
Just gonna suggest for them to stop, just to calm themselves, but no, I don't think that'll actually work. So I'm gonna just kind of pull out my sitar from like the corner that I'm like around the edge of the hallway, and then I'm gonna just try to shoot at them. I'm gonna shoot at I guess I'll shoot at the floating one, because I think Elly's gonna have a harder time hitting that one, and she's a ground.
Yeah,
pound.
It's nowhere near melee range. It's completely out.
And I'm going to imbue this with my, if it hits, the psychic blades.
Gotcha. All right, AC 15.
Oh, that definitely hits. It's like a 22.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I roll my bow.
It's gonna be Icky's turn next.
That's gonna be 7 points of bow damage, and I think it's 3d6. Let me double check that just real quick. I forgot.
Just go ahead and preempt you. You don't need to roll that psychic damage.
Oh, okay.
That was 7 piercing.
Yeah.
Yeah, as your arrow strikes it, a flare of sort of psychic energy comes up, and Mur just can sort of tell it. The arrow hit. Not sure.
And then I like lean back around the corner. I want to be within his sight range. Mur's a smart girl.
All right. That was Mur's turn.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna another legendary action here. This time, the other Lang. You know how, I don't know if you guys ever read any X-Men comics, but I always like how like the pink butterfly kind of thing that comes out of their heads when they do
Oh,
it.
absolutely. Yeah.
That the one that's
classic
floating,
Jim Lee. Classic Jim.
Right. Classic Jim Lee. The one that's floating in the middle of the shaft does that and blasts Elly with this psychic attack.
No.
I need Elly to make me a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw. Nice. You're going to take 5 psychic damage and do not have disadvantage on your next attack.
Yay.
That was my legendary action. Icky, it's your turn.
Icky's gonna see Mur kind of poke her head back around the corner and just, what is happening?
They are fighting who I am assuming is Lang. I don't foresee it going well for them, which is why I am back around the corner. But I am providing what support I can.
She's just gonna leave if it looks bad.
Where is Elly?
She is up there. I know. Which is why I'm here supporting and not.
Alright, so
Mur's just like, I know.
How far from the doorway? I know Mur had to walk to the doorway, which I assume is an entire one of Mur's action or movements, like 30 feet.
Yeah.
Icky can do 40 feet, but like she's not super happy that she can't burrow in here, and that's kind of a pain.
That's true.
90% of all of her strategies are now gone. Yeah, so what she's gonna do is she's also gonna like poke that head around and she is going to, since she can see them both, since they're in her range of vision, she's just gonna like quietly cast Hunter's Mark on the one that's on the ground.
Okay. All right.
Just like a boop.
And then just also kind of and look at Myrrh and be like, why are there two legs?
Why not?
Pick one and shoot.
There's one kind of floating nearish blue closer to the ground, and then there's one floating in the central.
I shot the higher up one because Elly will not be able to reach him.
Yeah, she's gonna use Hunter's Mark on the one on the ground, just because like she knows that first of all she sucks with a bow, and second of all like she wouldn't be able to reach that one because she used melee. So
Correct. Yeah. If you double, you cast your spell anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a bonus action.
Yeah, Hunter's Mark is a bonus
oh my
action.
gosh,
Yeah, Hunter's Mark is a bonus action. Then you can double move and be there faster.
Oh, but do I want to?
That is the question.
It's like, oh my god, am I like super wanting to do? Yeah, I guess I will. Yeah, I'll double move and move another 40 feet up next to. I'll go ahead and move up next to
I
Elly.
will support you from here.
Icky just does this thing with her hands, like, yeah, okay, I get it.
Icky runs up, casts spell.
I'm not as effective as melee.
Yeah, but she like cast the spell before she entered the room, so hopefully, like, that's a little metagaming on my part. Hopefully, they don't notice.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Elly, one of these is right up on you.
Sir, we didn't mean to intrude. We should have asked permission, but you were gonna kill us anyway, so I'm very sorry to have to do this. I'm gonna kind of look around and get closer. And then I am going to rage and
It's the gentlest rage ever.
Uh-huh.
I love it. I love it. It's a rage with consent. That's what I like. I'm gonna do this to you.
Yeah.
I apologize in advance, but I think there's something in me that tells me to not apologize. So I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not. And then she takes out her great axe, and then she kind of feels weird from that psychic damage and tries to, I suppose, zone into that pain and then let out that anger.
Yeah.
So she's going to hit him. She's going to recklessly attack him.
Nice.
So, 21? Is that
21 hits, yeah.
Perfect. 14 points of damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to attack him again. Nope, that does not hit. 8. Or actually 15?
15 hits.
Yeah, okay. Cool. And then, okay. That is 14 points of damage.
Another 14, 28 total. I'm using my reaction, and this one you hit twice, and you see him make an arcane gesture in the air, and Elly feels a weird something happen. You're no longer angry. You're standing further away than you were, and you're like, I thought I swore you got angry and hit this guy, and I have used the power to rewind time and undo Elly's actions for the round. You have your rage. It is unspent, but he's not going to take 28 damage.
Sir, how'd you do that? I could have sworn
I'm a time wizard.
You're a time wizard?
He's a chrono dick.
He's a chronomancer.
Which is why I'm stealing his research.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's not a bad idea.
Yes, that's what he does.
Let's read.
So Elly knows that something happened. It's like deja vu, but like instead of like, this happened before, it's like you have a memory of it happening.
Yeah.
You were there, but now you're here where you were before.
Okay, this is weird, and I'm sorry. It's So I'm gonna have to try to do that again.
So your actions are still spent though, and so he does that using up his reaction. That I'll let you guys know if that recharges. Like Ling goes again. This time, the one that is closest to Blue and Elly was right up on, but is no longer. Sort of floats away, and this time, I need Blue to make me a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
This is Future Lang attacking.
Oh, this is Future Lang attacking? The one on the ground?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Do I have anything that's going to help me out with this? Don't think so. That's okay, though. I got a 20.
Nice. You resist being psychically shunted outside of time. Ooh. And keep your place in this particular chronal stream. So that's that. That's what he tries to do. He moves away from you. Present Lang goes and is instead... Ooh, there's a lot. Myrrh has ducked back behind. Gildan is present. There is a target-rich environment. I don't have
target. All of us are here.
Yeah,
except for Myrrh, of course.
And he is going to. I need Elly.
It's gonna save you all if you're all in there. If we're all in there.
I need Elly to make a DC-16 Wisdom saving throw as it points at Elly, attempting to draw out your time and give it itself.
Oh my god!
I got an 11.
Ooh. You are under the effects of a slow spell, and he is under the effects of a haste spell. Nice. As he draws the time out, you will get a save every round to avoid that. Until then, your speed is halved. You have a -2 to AC. You cannot use your reactions, and you can only make one attack or a bonus action. It's pretty rough for Barbarian.
Lovely.
But you get a save for that every round while this is going on.
What level spell is that?
This is less of a spell and more of an ability, but I would say it's at least a level 5 spell.
I'm kidding. Yeah.
So Present Lang is stolen as like a time siphon between Elly and itself. The other one is off. It is Baloo's turn. You have resisted being pulled out of the time stream.
Oh,
what does
you
do?
I'm here now, baby. So as the I'm glowing with this red energy, contrasting nice, making a nice Christmas color scheme with the glowing green energy that's a residue. Mm-hmm. And those swirling cold clouds that were dispelled, I snatched them back up and contrasted against the hot air from outside. I create a storm, and I'm now about to call lightning onto him. But in addition, I am drawing upon my Nature's Fury gem, and I am going to increase the damage die done by a number of dice equal to the spell level. So I'm now going to do 6d6 worth of damage against him.
Yes. Although Call Lightning does d10s, I think.
You're right, yeah. D10, sorry, I misspoke. I've got him right.
Gotcha. So you're going to take some of that damage yourself in order to
I am.
Gotcha.
So first, to make it easier, since I take the extra damage unless I make a con save,
yeah,
I'll go ahead and do my con save now.
Sounds good.
17 plus 1, so 18. Gotcha. That beats my DC.
Uh-huh.
But I'm going to take half of this. Oh my god. Would have been nice if...
I failed my save.
You failed your save? Beautiful, yeah. Okay.
You're doing the one that backed away from you?
Mm-hmm, yeah. So let's see. So that's 16, so I take 8. And then 16 plus... Nice. 16 plus 15, so 31 lightning damage, and I take 8 of that. Yeah. And he takes all 31.
Yeah, he does because he failed to save. So you blast this one with a full force of one of your enhanced Call Lightnings. And that was
probably pretty loud.
Yes, I should say. Do anything with a bonus action?
I don't know if I have one.
Okay.
No.
All right.
No, I don't.
That makes it Gildan's turn.
Yeah, the same one that he lightnings. I'm going to hands on hips, and I'm going to whip that one. I got a 21 to hit, and then I'm using Fury of the Small.
All right. And I can't wait for the fan art of this one, by the way.
Yeah. 11 points of damage, and I'm going to pull him 10 feet closer to me and be like, yeah!
Take the one whip.
Come and get some.
This is
Thornwhip
loot.
sounds like the worst D&D character. Just like
Dick Thornwhip. Yeah.
leave me alone, Dick. All right, give me some damage.
I'm from the fanfic. It's 11 points of damage.
11 points of damage.
And then as I move closer to this one, it should have to make a wisdom saving throw as some spirit guardians hopefully do some damage for once.
Nice.
I got a 26 on my save.
Well, he's going to take half of 11, so he takes 5.
All right. All right. I'm going to use a legendary action. The one that was thorn-whipped and brought closer turns its wrath on to Gildan and shoots Gildan, hopefully with a chrono beam. That is going to be a unnatural 20 to hit.
Yeah, I'm naked.
I need you to make me a Constitution save, and please, well, you'll let me know if it's even or odd at the time.
Now, the wonderful thing about me is my Constitution saves are phenomenal. And a 26.
It does not age you, but you take 10 necrotic damage.
And I get an advantage on those two, and my other roll was a nat 20, so it would have been 20. But 10 necrotic damage. I hate that guy.
Yeah, he shoots you with a chrono beam, but does not age you. Instead, simply dealing necrotic damage. That's one's legendary action. The other one's legendary action.
Oh no!
Is
I love it. This is the best D&D fight ever.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Like everything's happening. Is instead going to. Ooh, that was a bad one, Baloo.
Yep.
And a 27 hits Baloo. I need you to make a Constitution save as well, as Floating Lang shoots you with the chrono beam. It is going to be Mur's turn next.
It's necrotic, right?
Necrotic. Yeah.
Well, you said it's a Constitution save?
Constitution save, please. DC
Sorry.
16.
I'm pretty sure I failed it.
What'd you get?
Oh, I got a 10.
You got a 10? Then you are aged 2 years and take 10 necrotic damage.
Okay. That's fine. I was getting on there anyway.
I'm over him. Sorry.
I was already in my 40s, and for a goblin, that's old.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's very old.
That's my legendary. Now it is Mur's turn.
They seem to be using verbal components when they are doing these things.
They are utterly silent.
Okay, well then I
silent.
will not cast silence. My second question is, are they within 20 feet of each other?
They are not. They were, but one of them was thorn whipped out of the way.
Okay, well then I will not cast Shatter on both of them. In that case, I will just shoot one with the bow.
Okay. Yes. From where you're at right now, you really can just see the one that you shot last time.
Okay, I peek around.
Mhm.
And I peek back around.
All right. Classic
Ooh.
archer.
That's a 23.
Classic archer.
Yes. And it's going to be Dickie's turn after Mur.
Ooh, that's excellent. 9 points of damage. And then, can I see Elly?
Yes.
You're doing a fantastic job. Keep it up. You are now bardically inspired. And then I peek back around.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Helen goes on Mur's turn just for simplicity's sake.
Okay.
And Helen casts Blur on the three that are in melee. So that's Icky, Baloo, and Elly. You have the effect of Blur, which is, of course, an extra D4 to your saves and attacks. I think maybe you need a fear or something. Or sorry, not Blur, Bless. Bless.
Yeah, okay.
My bad,
Cool.
Bless.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not Blur, Bless.
Yeah, bless.
Extra D4, okay.
Attacks and saving throws.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that's Helen's turn. Icky, you're up.
It's very useful.
Sorry, I had to update my notes with Helen in the initiative.
You take really
Yeah.
detailed notes.
So, so Icky is Icky's fairly close to them, and she's getting kind of angry. How far away is the closest one to her in feet?
How far away would have been dragged from Thornwhip? That's like 15 feet, Grant, something like that.
Is that
About 10 feet.
10 feet, yeah. It's well within your movement, Icky.
I would love if he's. I'm sorry. How far did Grant say? 15? I'm sorry. 10. Yeah. So yeah, Icky's not gonna actually move. Icky's gonna feel like some like some of her own rage bubbling up inside of her, and she's gonna open up her mouth, and instead of her raptor shriek, it's just gonna be an enormous scalding cone of hot sand that just blasts straight at him. I'm gonna need him to roll a dex save.
I'm not good at those, but I rolled a 19.
Yeah, so he's just gonna take half damage then.
Okay.
Which I'm level 6, so it's a 3d6. That's... So he's going to take 13 damage from that. And that's one action, and then she's going to move in front of Elly. And that's pretty much it. She's not going to take a second attack.
Okay. All right. You've breathed your scalding sand breath on him, moved to protect Elly, whose turn it is.
So how far is present? What's his face towards me? Is he still flying?
He is still flying. It's about 20 feet away flying. But yeah, that's about how far away he is. Let me see.
Okay. And the other?
The other one is further away, to about 30 feet away.
All right. Well, do I do my saving throw at the beginning or end?
At the end.
At the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to. I can only do one action or one bonus action.
Right. Yeah, and if you have a multi-attack, you just get the one attack.
Ooh.
Extra
All right.
attack.
I am going to Thug Life, and I'm going to throw my hand
Nice.
axe at the one flying.
All right.
I like it.
AC 15.
Please help me.
Do you have the D4, don't you?
Have D4 from less.
Even with.
Oh no.
Oh.
That's 3.
Oh no. Yeah. Hand axe goes wide. You make a save against the slow.
Yes, I will do the save. It was a wisdom save?
Wisdom. DC 16.
You have a D4 and a D8.
Yeah, the D4 applies to that.
Yeah. D4 counts for that.
And the D8.
Unless it's like way, way, way low.
Yep.
You might want to save it for the next
Yeah,
round.
I'm gonna save it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
This is
Oh,
fine.
right.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. All right. Elly's turn. Lane goes next. Future Lane over by Gildan, with Icky on one side, Gildan on the other. Looks around, and it has not missed it.
Bare my teeth.
And it is going to attempt to blast Gildan again with its chrono beam, seemingly agitated and annoyed. That was a 21 to hit. I need a DC 16 Constitution save to determine if you take half damage. Or sorry, the damage is 10 necrotic. The save is whether you age or not.
Okay, so I'm going to take 10 necrotic. I do not age.
Okay. Gildan resists the Aegis, but takes the damage. And that was Futureling. Presentling moves slightly so that there is a barrier between where Myrrh is and it, but still keeps Elly in range. He is going to attempt to psychically blast Elly. Elly,
No.
save.
Got that D4.
Does a 13?
13's not. It's 10 psychic damage, and you'll have disadvantage on your next attack. It, however, in its arrogance, has moved within melee striking distance of you. It sort of like floats in, trying to get out of where Myrrh is. It's like, I've got you all psychically drained and slowed and the like. It seems to be like taunting you and singling you out, but it has moved from its position over the chasm to where you could walk up to it. That's my 2 turns. It is Blue's action.
Okay, so as a reminder, Jim, we've got Futureling is in combat with Gildan. Is that all?
Gildan and Icky are nearby. I don't think either of them is in melee right now. Okay. Icky just used a breath weapon, and Gildan pulled it within range of Spirit Guardians. The other Lang is nearby to Elly.
Nearby to Elly. Okay. Home. Okay. So, I am going to... Futureling was the one that I hit with the lightning bolt, right?
Correct.
Well, there's going to be another surge, and he's going to need to make another save, because that's going to happen again.
All right. Not so good. Fails the second save.
Rolled a 19 on my con save, so I take half.
All right.
Nice. So the first, that extra that I will take half of.
What type of damage are you taking half of?
This is lightning.
I can use my reaction to reduce it by another.
Beautiful.
Because
I'll go ahead and interrupt you guys with a rewind, so you don't have to roll all those dice. Present Lang uses his ability to rewind time as this second lightning bolt streaks out towards Future Lang. It reverses itself. Have no expended slot. Gildan has no expended channel divinity, but you have spent your actions.
Okay, all of my actions?
Well, you spent the action to direct the lightning bolt.
Which was it? Okay. All right.
Bonus left.
No. Well, actually, yeah, but it would cancel the call lighting, so no.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I do.
All right. It's all right. Gildan, your turn.
All right, Gildan places his hand where the bolt struck. He cures wounds for 19, and then he uses his bonus action to hit or attempt to hit Futureling with his spiritual weapon. He got a 17 to hit.
That hits.
That'll be 11 points of radiant damage. And then he walks towards a Moor in hopes to get him with more Spirit Guardians. He'll have to make a wisdom saving throw.
All right. That was a 15? No,
yeah, he made
13. 13.
Okay, 13. No, he doesn't make it. He takes 12 points of more radiant damage.
Nice.
All right. Let's see. 12.
Naked Gildan is reaching his final form.
Right.
I've got one more round on my spiritual weapon, and I'm almost out of spell slots.
Don't get too excited, man. Don't get too excited.
Myrrh, you're up.
So I can't see him anymore.
Yeah.
How's Elly looking?
Elly is looking pretty rough. I mean, like, I don't think you've been hit a couple of times, right? But you more just look sluggish. Her reactions are slow. She's not
I can't do anything about that.
Agile warrior.
She was bleeding everywhere, looking about to fall over, maybe something. I will head into the room a little bit until I can see one of them.
Okay. You're in the room.
Okay.
You can see you can move into position to see either or both.
I want to move just enough to see one of them.
Okay. I feel you.
Come on in, Mer. Come on. Come on.
I see you getting older. Do you know what my business is?
Okay, yeah. That's.
If you roll odd, you get younger. So.
Oh well.
Oh really? Oh.
I'm not a fan of gambling. All right. Wasn't on that layer, pal. I'm gonna shoot him with my bow when I can see him.
All right.
Oh, that's just tabletop. Dude, thank you for these wonderful dice.
Rolling on fire.
22.
Yeah, it's a hit.
Yeah, man. Thanks. This is all because of you. That is going to be 8 points of damage, and then I'm gonna back up the Mer train.
All right. Myrrh continues to snipe at Presentling, who's sort of lording his psychic and chronal superiority over Elly. Icky, It's your turn.
So, is the one that Icky used the breath weapon on the same one that Icky cast Hunter's Mark on?
Yes.
It was the one that was on the ground in
Yes.
the first round.
Yes.
Yes, awesome. Then, and he's 10 feet away from her still, or did he move when Gildan was attacking him?
Yeah, he's still about 10 feet away from you.
Okay, then yeah, Icky's gonna pull out her sickles, and she's gonna move close enough to him, try to get 2 attacks in, enough to hook those sickles in, and pull one of her favorite maneuvers where she pulls them in and does Hungry Jaws as a bonus action.
All right.
Oh, and I get that D4. Don't let me forget.
Get the D4.
I won't. Okay, yes. No. Okay, so I got a 16 and an 11.
16 will hit.
Okay, so 16, and then damage for a sickle is a D4? D4?
Yeah, I think it's a D4.
D4. So that's 4 points of damage with that first sickle, and then for my Hungry Jaws. Haha! I got a 17 on my Hungry Jaws.
To hit or damage?
Oh, to hit.
Oh, yeah, to hit, yeah.
Yeah. And then normal damage, which is... So that's going to be 5, and I will get 2 points back, but I can't because I haven't been damaged. But yeah, so I'll do 5 damage to him.
5 damage. So as you kind of come up and sickle him and grab a hold, he uses his reaction to rewind time for himself in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
To, after he suffered this onslaught, teleport back to an earlier spot he was at before he was moved by Gildan and all of that. So he sort of like teleports him out of your immediate range after you sort of deal this. And you can see he's been hit several times, particularly by lightning bolts. His robes are scarred and charred. And you bit him, felt weak.
Okay. So I forgot to add my 1d6 for my Hunter's Mark.
Go for it.
Okay.
If you get a 5 or higher level.
I got a 3.
All right. On the edge, barely hit.
Damn it.
It's the future lane kind of like comes back. It uses its legendary action to target Icky this time with the Chrono Beam. 24 to hit. That is going to be 10 necrotic damage, and I need Icky to make me a DC 16 Constitution save. Elly, it is your turn.
So I am going to rage.
Yeah.
And that's all I can do.
Okay. You can make a save as well.
Oh,
15. No luck.
17.
Hey.
Oh, hey. Icky is 3 years younger, and 3 years. And Elly, you break free of this time siphon that has connected you with this other link, and feel a surge of vitality and energy return to you. No longer affected by slow, but it is the end of your turn. You're sort of like right face to face with him, all raged out. Nice. Last legendary action before my actual go. I always love that about legendary actions. You get to use them right before it's your turn. And it is, yeah, I know. And presently, he's out of all of his big special abilities. He's used them all. Most of you guys have saved against them. And that is a critical hit from a Chrono Beam. As it targets Elly, and Elly takes 20 necrotic damage.
No!
And needs to make DC 16 Constitution save.
Or she turns back into a baby.
Or not 20. Go ahead. Let me go ahead and roll the actual die there.
Reasons my own.
It was the 12.
Did you roll your D4 and your bardic inspiration of a D8?
You were right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 15, and then it was a 1d8, right?
Yeah, that's your bardic inspiration.
What is it? Here it is. Plus 5.
Looking out for you.
All right, so you avoid aging 4 years, but take actually 19 necrotic damage. There you go. Bad round. My turn. Lang, having shot like almost point blank this chrono beam at Elly, looks at her and sort of like, your sister had a lot of interesting things to say about you, as he attempts to overbear Elly into psychic submission and attacks her again. 16 hits. Oh wait, does 16 hit now that your AC's not?
No, it doesn't. My AC is back to normal.
Nice. All
okay,
right.
Perfect. Yay.
It makes its second attack against you, but your AC back to normal. You dodge out of the way of it as it disintegrates a furrow into the floor of its chrono beam. Futureling's gone, or that was Presentling. Futureling is looking roughed up and is going to attempt to deal with Gildan and Icky in the only way it knows how. And Icky, I need you to make me a DC 16 Wisdom saving throw.
Oh no, he's going to dominate her mind.
See, I remember somebody telling me that I got a nat 20 for helping win a dinosaur race.
Yeah.
So I'ma just...
It's true. You're right about that. Woo! You're going to nat 20 that? All right.
Yeah, I was kind of saving it, and then I was like, ooh, but what if I regret it?
But what if I regret it?
Icky herself, drawing upon her inner reserves, refuses to be shunted outside of time and maintain her place within the time stream. Futureling, that was his action. Baloo, it's your go. Tell us next roll.
I wish I could hit 2 at once. I know Futureling looks pretty beat up, but I think it's time to take the big bites.
Presentling is got Elly on the ropes, it seems to me.
Yeah. He needs to pay attention to me, so he gets hit by a bolt of lightning. He needs to make a dex save.
11.
I passed my concentration save. You fail yours.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me do the first round. So 13. So half of that for me would be 6, I guess. 13 plus. Not as good as last time. 21 damage. And I will take 6. So he takes 21 lightning.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm just like roaring at him. Just like the earth is roaring at him. Like a freaking tornado.
Presentling takes its legendary action.
Pay attention to me.
And weaving a psychic effect of great power, stops time. And Presentling seems to disappear.
Cool.
That was my legendary action for Presentling. It is now Gildan's turn.
All right, I use my bonus action to mass healing word in an instant and heal all party members 6 points.
Nice.
Nice.
And then I'm going to see how much damage Cornholio takes with the Spirit Guardians. So 19 if he doesn't save.
Yeah, it's more than 2. Gildan, your hag entourage swarms around this future manifestation of Lang as he furiously attempts to fight them off with Chrono Beam and Psychic Blast before succumbing to their power. Futureling falls.
Yeah.
And quickly fades from existence.
Oh, I wanted to steal his mask.
There is a eerie silence as the last bit of the battle downstairs it rages. You can look around you, see the havoc that's been wreaked by the attack of Ling and your own spells upon all of the intricate and delicate machinery that is in here. 2 staircases on either side of the open shaft lead upwards. Where would you guys like to go?
I would like to cast Detect Magic and specifically be on the lookout for illusion magic to make sure he's not just invisible and lurking or trying to escape.
Yeah. Looking around here, you see the dying traces of the arcane circuitry that are slowly losing power and function. That's about the only magic that you see. You don't detect any traces of new spells or effects.
Okay, cool. Because he just kind of disappeared. And after I peeked back in, I was like, oh.
Gildan is dashing foolhardily straight up the stairs.
Okay.
You cannot escape me, Ling. I know your minds. I know your fears.
I got 2 rounds for my time stop, so he is 2 rounds ahead. So what's everybody else doing? Gildan has taken off. Myrrh looks like she's searching about for.
Now that it's up, if he is invisible and running, I'll find him pretty quick.
Yeah.
So.
It'll
be like illusion, ping, ping, right there.
Nikki's gonna tap into her hunter's mark.
Yeah. All right.
I'm gonna.
Don't worry yet.
I'm gonna go after Gildan, and as I pass Elly, I'm gonna tap her and cure wounds.
I was gonna do that too.
Yeah.
Right. Everyone, happy rubs.
Yeah, just a quick one.
All right.
And then I'm going to heal her. It's been so long since I've actually used it.
Since you've actually used it?
Right. I'm going to heal her for 6.
Okay. So Elly is healed for 6. Gildan is rushing up the stairs. I believe Icky is following close behind if you've got the Hunter's Mark on. Hunter's Mark and your own sort of instincts telling you that Ling is just in the next level above, but is moving fast through the levels to the top.
Yeah, I'm starting to run as well, and I give Elly a quick hug. Let's go! And I give her 12 points of healing.
All right. Elly is rejuvenated. You rush up through a floor that is filled with even more intricate and massive machinery than before. All of the lights on it dying and the energy that once coursed through it dissipating. Your magic telling you to go further up the stairs on either side to the 4th level of the pyramid, where you feel yourself just moments behind Ling before Hunter's Mark ends abruptly.
Well, that's weird. She'll immediately tell Gildan that she doesn't understand what's happening, but she can't find him. She's lost.
I never understand what's happening. I mean,
how aggressive.
He just looks at Gilda. She's like, I never liked you. Where's Skitter Step?
I don't know. They took me prisoner.
She's in the desert. I think we found out, didn't we?
All right.
Yes.
We know.
Oh yeah.
Baloo did. Baloo, you.
Yeah, I did.
Anything of note up here?
Yeah. You rush past this floor with just like machinery and everything into another floor, which appears to be some sort of living quarters of some kind. It's a large room. There's still the large open shaft in the middle of it, looking down on the other 3 floors of the pyramid. And there are 4 sort of curtained off areas, one on either side of this sort of otherwise squarish room. This is where it seems as though your chase is ended. But like Icky said, she no longer detects him through this Hunter's Mark.
Yeah.
every one of you were chasing after Lang.
And I have detect magic up.
All right. You detect magic. You're starting to. There is strong magic coming from the southern curtain, as well as the northern curtain.
Someone check that curtain. I will get to this one.
I thorn whip the curtain and whip it open.
Which one? It's north or south?
North.
North. It appears.
I'll go down south.
Yes. It appears as though this is a Gildan uncovers another research station filled with notes and not just like paper or anything. It's books and paper and holocrons and all sorts of weird objects of retaining lore and the like on this one. Myrrh has opened up what appears to be a bedroom of some kind. There is a Spartan bed that doesn't look like it's been used in a long time, as well as an open secret door into a hidden chamber.
Secret door!
How about everyone else while Gildan and Elly are throwing open these curtains?
Icky's been fighting these guys for a while. She's looking for blood. Like, is there less blood? Is he regenerating? Type of stuff.
That's a good question.
I'm sorry I did this to you guys.
No, that's fine. The blood trail actually sort of like didn't pick up till nearly halfway through the third floor. Like whatever he was doing when he was running initially and that during that time stop didn't leave any sort of trail. Enters back into time. And it's bleeding. You can see sort of just a trail of drip as you know, you're floating and hovering up these stairs. It leads to the south curtain.
Okay.
Secret tunnel.
Yeah. Is there anything to indicate that there is less blood at this point than when she was first like chasing it or anything? Like if he's healing or anything, because that's her concern.
Gotcha. Yeah, it does appear that way.
Oh.
So Icky and Myrrh are at the south curtain.
Yeah.
Just discovered an open secret door. How about Elly and Baloo?
I think seeing as everybody else went to the other one and there's blood and stuff, I'd probably follow.
Okay. Baloo?
Yeah, I suppose I would follow. I'm kind of thinking just to keep going up, but that might be.
Gildan on his own.
Where's Gildan?
Gildan's at the north curtain, uncovered a private research area of Ling's.
I whipped it open with my thorn whip. Shall we go up? I don't know. I kind of want to dig around. I kind of want to mess with this thing kind of unceremoniously.
We can mess with it in a minute.
Myrrh and Icky and Elly and Baloo.
The blood trail leads this way.
Leads through the secret door. Inside here are several other of those massive crystal tubes, two of which contain the fleshy bodies of some sort of golden-skinned humanoid of something. It looks as though it's half-formed and not quite finished. Its features are mushy and blurred. And it's floating. The tubes are both filled with this rich amber molasses-like liquid. So it's also difficult to exactly tell what's going on in there. You just sort of see this body floating in both of them. There is also, in the corner, this weird sort of circular divot on both walls of the corner and the floor. It's perfectly circular. And almost as if there was something circular stuck in this corner that had been removed from it. And that is all that is in the secret chamber.
Do I sense any magics? Because detect magic lasts for 10 minutes.
Oh yes. You perceive the fading motes of chronal magic that are quickly dissipating throughout the room.
Interesting. He used his time stuff again.
I'd like to go to that goldish person in the tube and just kind of look a little bit closer and maybe tap on the glass.
It doesn't. There's no response from it. Not even a twitch of reaction.
This is weird.
Where does the blood trail go?
The blood trail goes to the circular cutouts in the stone, like the divots, and ends there.
Can I? There's no magic coming from it.
It's fading. There was magic there, but it is.
Poke it with my sword of theirs.
Right. Mirth is not ready to let an enemy leave. And investigating this
Against my nature.
As near as you can tell, this is where Lang made his escape from your dimension. We'll kind of drop out of initiative time here. Very soon, the soldiers from the alliance between the Drow and Trade Town will have flooded through the entire pyramid. The last sounds of fighting from underneath, sort of the lower levels, die down. The party finds themselves in control of a unpowered pyramid of some mysterious arcane origin. There is a wealth of information that you find from the research stations. Now, how you said, Grant, you said Gildan was being rather unceremonious with how he was rifling through it.
Fiddling around, yeah. Kind of like Yoda when he first meets Luke Skywalker, just kind of like, this is junk.
Yeah, you see Gildan throwing some of these out.
Is it magical? No. Is it magical?
Some of them are magical.
Yes. If it's magical, I take it.
Yeah.
Before those wardens get up here.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, Icky asks Merv if she can still talk to Memnon, if she can hear him.
But we can all talk to Memnon. Hello?
Icky didn't think of that.
Yeah.
It's done.
Well, yes and no. We killed a Lang, but there were two.
Yes. He can do that. And one of them
would have been good to know.
Yeah, but yeah.
One of them escaped.
Barely. The blood trail ends at the wall, and there were some receding time magic traces. Yeah.
Never been to those levels.
Well, they're all right.
And you can hear sort of like a brief sensation of just sort of relief and and a sigh of it passes mentally to each of you. The coming days, this pyramid is examined, indeed looted.
Ever find my stuff?
Yes, Gildan finds his
I have
stuff.
a question.
Yes.
This is like metagaming,
Sure.
but Elly never met what's
Corsica?
Corsica.
Corsica.
Carcosa.
Oh yeah. So that was Corsica was off rescuing, it seems, some of the other prisoners during the fight. Afterwards, we'll see what happens afterwards with Corsica. Give me an idea for the rest of the party, though. Y'all are in the living quarters of Lang, looting
as much as I can before the wardens get here.
There is a floor above you of some sort, and you can see natural light coming in from that floor. But give me an idea just of what you guys do in these last moments before the rest arrive, and see that.
I kind of want to tug at Elly and talk to her privately for a second. I want to let her know that there is a woman here who claims to be her sister who has been spying on us, but I believe it to be a lie.
I don't have any siblings.
Well, she claims to be your sister, and she knew who I was, but she is a liar. Get the truth out of her, but we'll have to make her cry.
Do we have to make someone cry? No, I'm sorry.
That's your job.
I mean, I don't want to make anybody cry.
You don't have to. Mer can, or Icky, or Balu.
Right? But maybe this person was from the town that you guys are from? and I think Mer told me that I am. Well, don't tell her I said this, but that I'm worth money for whatever reason.
You speak Elvish.
All are
Somebody
worth-
told. Oh no, yeah, Icky told me. Right?
Well, you well, there is a human like you, and she is a liar, and she will come soon. That's all I tell her, and then I go back to doing my Gildan things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Elly ponders about this for a little too long.
Yeah. In the confusion, no one comes up to Elly. You mean, there are plenty of people from Trade Town that were captured and kept here that need they need attention. They're injured and certainly traumatized. In the aftermath of this intense battle, those people are taken care of, but it's a lot of confusion, people coming and going from the pyramid, and Gildan doesn't see any sign of Corsica, and no one comes up to Elly announcing any sort of familial bond. As we close out here, I'm going to give the players a chance to kind of give me an idea of what they do in the aftermath of all of this. What's their immediate reaction, and what would they do? Are they contributing to any of the relief efforts as well?
Baloo's going to try to destroy the top of the pyramid.
Okay.
He's going to go up as far as he can. And if there's any kind of mechanism at the top, he's going to cast Call Lightning again and start striking it.
All right.
Possibly.
Yeah, there's like a focusing crystal at
Yeah.
the very top of it that Baloo can destroy.
Yeah.
All right. Baloo's off doing that. Rest of the party?
It's very therapeutic. Lots of lightning bolts.
Does
Elly's-
no, go ahead, Elly.
Ellie's trying to find some information about the person in this thing.
Uh-huh.
She just kind of put her sister in the back of her mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'll deal with that another day.
Right.
She wants to know what this gold thing is, and as she's looking at if there's any papers, basically looking at pictures because she can't read. So anything that kind of looks interesting that might be part of that, she'll take.
There is a great deal of information about Ling's cloning process, his methodology, dead ends and experiments, that kind of thing. Some of it's even in video form that you can just watch and listen to. But for the most part, all of that will have to be sifted through over a period of time. But you do indeed find a treasure trove of information regarding what Ling was doing in this pyramid of his, as well as the cloning vats that are in the lower levels, which are, well, they go from being a formless mass of flesh, like a big lump of clay, towards eventually becoming the forms that you know as servitors. And like I said, all of that is cataloged and looted for any valuables before the Fellowship are able to kind of, no, you guys, like, no, thank you, and put a stop to all that. So that's what Elly's doing. Curious about what's in there. Those tubes and the contents of them, we might have to wait a bit to see exactly what happens with them, because the Fellowship would want those destroyed. But if Elly has other plans, we'll have to play that out later. How about the rest of the party?
I'm using a sending spell, and I'm sending it across planes to Ling, because I am familiar with him.
Oh.
And my 25 words are, you have failed, Ling. Your pyramid has fallen now. We know all of your secrets. The Wardens won today. Remember my name, Gildan the Wise.
Nice.
Quality.
Icky?
Icky can feel the last bits of this draconic spell kind of fading, and so she's gonna leave the pyramid and kind of go out towards the wastes, just to kind of spend her last few minutes with it, feeling nice and powerful, kind of be by herself a little while, especially because she hates being in that pyramid. And she's just gonna go out into the wastes and kind of be alone for a little bit.
Excellent. And Myrrh.
Well, she's gonna again speed loot any magical items in here just before the Fellowship can get to them.
Yeah.
And then start going through research and stuff, getting any valuables. She would dismiss. She would release the shadow she had claimed because Fellowship doesn't know she can do that. And then as soon as the Fellowship comes in and relief efforts start building, she's gonna do whatever she can to get the most personal gain out of anything. Just be like, oh, it would be most beneficial if I light myself so and so, and then just climbing that ladder.
Climb it.
Playing her game.
Everyone's playing. Some just don't try very hard.
Yeah. Dodvi, who was thought dead, is revealed to be part of the prisoners who were in sort of the mass enclosure there. She is heavily wounded and in bad shape. And has how's that?
How heavily wounded?
Pretty heavily wounded.
Oh no, you've tripped on the walk back to Traytown and snapped your neck. That is
I don't know. How's Myrrh gonna play this?
I'll get back to you in a second.
All right. The Fellowship sort of organizes relief efforts for those who were kidnapped and questioned. The Drow understand the deal understand the arrangement and do a minimal of looting. Most of the looting comes from the wastelanders and the like who were in trade as visitors. But the pyramid is secure. Trade Town will need to be rebuilt extensively, as it is revealed that almost all of the boats that were there were destroyed. And so a great building effort will have to go on, both to rebuild the Orc Quarter and the fleet the river fleet that was at Trade Town. In the days following the attack on the pyramid, there's a great deal of activity and recovery and relief, as well as understanding, just who exactly this traveler from another time was. But we're going to draw a bit of a close on this chapter of The Land Between Two Rivers. We are taking next week off. I'm going to be flying to shoot some WebDM videos, and I'm going to be unable to stream where I'm at. And I think we might be doing maybe one shot from one of the players DMing, switch it up a bit. But we will be returning to The Land Between Two Rivers for more fantasy post-apocalyptic action later on. But, we are here to play some Dungeons & Dragons, and the DM seat is open to everyone, and we hope that we can get some of these players in here behind the screen and have a good time. Thank you all for coming out as the party battled the time traveler Ling and secured their position as heroes and leaders of Trade Town. We'll go back to the players. Josh, this new druid working out pretty well, yeah?
Yeah. Oh, man. It's nice at 6th level doing 6d10 damage every round.
I'm curious, how much damage did you take, self-inflicted damage from that?
It was really not that bad. I got lucky with all 3 of my concentration checks.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could have taken a lot. I could have almost knocked myself out.
Right.
But luckily I was doing pretty good. So.
Okay. So yeah, if you're curious about this, WebDM will be looking to release this particular subclass as well as some others pretty soon. So keep an eye out. Josh doing some play testing for us.
Yep. Got some good feedback.
Excellent. You want to give us you want to plug anything? Tell us about anything? What do you got going on?
Of course you do. Sorry. Yeah. I do art, and I mostly do it on Twitter, DeviantArt, a couple other places. Head over to my Twitter if you want some info.
Cool.
It's Bad Beard for Charity. But I'm also about to start doing live streams, doing Twitch Creative mostly. If you want to watch me make my art, please tune in. I think I'm going to start that maybe even tomorrow, actually.
Awesome.
So check out my Twitter for announcements on that, and let's make some art together.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Anna. I for a second I thought this might have been the end for Elly. I was worried.
Oh man,
yeah.
I was so confused, as was Elly. So with the whole time thing, I was like, "What's What happened? Bye.
It's Baby Elly.
It's Baby Elly.
Baby Elly.
Oh man. But I'm Anna. I had a great time. I always have a great time here. And I'm excited to see what happens in the story and also on the one shot. So
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to know who's going to be running. Where can we find you, Elly? Or, sorry, Anna.
well, you could find Elly in the land between two rivers, and you can find me on Twitch at Cyborg Pizza, Twitter and Instagram as AnnaBPhoto. I'm also part of Encounter Roleplay on Thursday mornings, and we're playing City of Mist there, and also Wonder Quest, and a 5e actual play Dungeons and Dragons podcast.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yay. Nice. TK.
Stressed out, Jim.
Yeah.
Stressed out. I'm stressed. You're like pain elemental, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, the pain elemental was more of a.
I'm ready.
It's just a distraction for the main event.
Like that moment is the moment when I was like, I forgot this was a boss fight. How could I forget for even a moment? Yeah, I had a great time. Always do. Always have an excellent time, even if I'm stressed. Couldn't even drink through this one, but that's fine.
You come play Warhammer with us sometime.
I drank heavily.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah. People can find me on the Twitters, arguing with people over stupid stuff. You can find me on my website, tkjwrites.com. And my Twitter is TK Joins the Fray. You can find way too many pictures of my cat on my Instagram. It's going to be some version of TK Joins the Fray or TK Has Joined the Fray. You can find me Sunday nights on the D&D Twitch with Hell's Bells playing my Prince Charming. And that's fun. Always fun. It's different to play a lawful good paladin. So
Change your pace.
it is really weird. It's really weird.
Nice. Yeah, check out Hell's Bells. That was really fun last week.
It's a great time.
Lindy Murr has managed to get through this relatively unscathed.
Didn't lose any hit points.
Oh.
Psychic damage, them being immune to that, kind of took away most of my stuff. But
Oh.
I was able to pew pew with my sitar bow. So and you know, do a little healing when necessary and have some inspiration. Let's make those saving throws.
Those saving throws made.
So that was interesting, really interesting. She's gonna be kind of looking over her shoulder for multiple people now, multiple Langs. But I feel like they've made a victory of sorts today. With knowledge is power, and there's a lot of knowledge here, so that'll be real fun to look over and study. I can't wait to see what happens next. But you can find me online at LaughLoveLindy on Twitches and the Twitters. You can find me here every Thursday for the amazingness that is Land Between Two Rivers and whatever we're doing next week. Every Friday you can find me on Grimjack21502's channel for Firefly RPG. This Saturday you can find me on Unmade Gaming's channel from 1 to 4 for a charity stream. We're playing Pugmire. And this Saturday evening you can find me on Power Score RPG's channel for the second half of a little one-shot we were doing. Every Sunday, you can find me usually on RPGN, but we're on hiatus till the 15th. But send in those clips, people. We still want to see them. We have to have something to come back with on the 15th. Sunday evening, you can find me on Grimjack21502's channel for Pulp Cthulhu. Tuesdays, Tomes and Tentacles podcast gets released from Encounter Roleplay. On the Greyhawk channel in the afternoons, I am DMing Vecna Lives. Tuesday evenings on my channel, I'm DMing Out of the Abyss. Wednesdays, 1 to 4 on Counter Roleplay. You can find me there doing some Call of Cthulhu. And then when Jim runs Warhammer, I get a break to wash all the old lady off. And then I become a 12-year-old child. And I play Star Wars Rise of the Dark Side with Grant. And it's awesome. And that is what I do.
Yes. Wow. All right. Grant. Gildan is finally back after a long separation from the party. In
some way, shape, or form, he has returned.
Mm-hmm.
Gildan glory. Man, he's proud of his body too. Hi everybody. My name's Grant Ellis. I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games. You can find me all over the place on the internet, but primarily on Twitter at WisePapaGrant, on Twitch as Grant R. Ellis. My main plug right now is I am running 20 games for charity in 10 days for 100 different players. We, as of today, have raised $2,015 for Safe House Nevada, which is an organization that provides relief and assistance to victims of domestic violence, including shelter. And I'm a very outspoken advocate of providing support for victims. Having been a victim myself, which I came out with this year publicly for the first time. And tomorrow night at 11:30 p.m. Eastern, I'll be running for 5 more players. We'll have a goal to get to $2,100. There will also be a game on Saturday, as well as Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, etc. And for all my other shows, just look at my Twitter. There's a header image, and it shows all the different channels I'm going to be on. Not quite as many as Lindy, but it's every day of the week.
Squad goals.
Squad goals.
Thanks everybody for coming out and hanging out with us. We are again not going to be here next week. That is, I believe, July 5th. But we will be back on July 12th, back in the action, and come and hang out with us. Let your friends know, give us the retweets and the whatever else, spread the word for us. We just appreciate you guys coming and hanging out while we play some D&D and have a good time. I think that's it. Guys, have a great evening, great weekend, and we will see y'all in 2 weeks.